Chapter 707. Roar. The blood dragon roared and pounced toward Su Chen with bared fangs and brandished claws. When the two were only a few meters away, the blood dragon opened its bloody mouth and tried to swallow Su Chen in one gulp. Seeing this, Su Chen's lips curled into a contemptuous smile, and he instantly released his mind power. This blood dragon looked ferocious and terrifying, but its strength was only at level 8. It could not resist Su Chen's mind power at all. Roar. The blood dragon was restrained and could not move. It roared angrily. Su Chen glanced at it coldly, and a faint golden light appeared on his palm. Then, he punched the blood dragon's huge head. There was a loud boom. The blood dragon's entire head was blasted into powder. After a violent tremor, the remaining body collapsed and turned into a cloud of blood mist that drifted down. Seeing Su Chen easily kill a blood dragon, the red-robed man was shocked and furious. The corners of his mouth trembled. "You're next." A cold light flashed in Su Chen's eyes. He moved his feet and continued to charge toward the red-robed man. "Attack together and kill it." The red-robed man's heart trembled. He gritted his teeth and roared at the other 8 blood dragons. The 8 blood dragons looked at Su Chen together. Then, they bared their teeth and flew toward Su Chen. As their bodies were relatively large, they immediately stirred up the blood waves around them. Facing the joint attack of 8 level 8 blood dragons, Su Chen was still fearless. When they rushed over, a pitch-black battle sword appeared in his hand. After injecting ice magic power into it, he swept the sword out. A terrifying chill spread out and instantly sealed the 8 blood dragons in ice. Although it did not kill them in one blow, it made them lose their ability to move. What a terrifying ice magic! Seeing this scene, the red-robed man's back was drenched in cold sweat. He could not help but take a few steps back. His eyes drifted to the blood-red coffin beneath his feet as if he was hesitating. On the other side, Su Chen took out the integrated 5 Extremes mountain and smashed it at the 8 frozen blood dragons one by one. Bang, bang, bang. Amidst a series of explosions, the 8 blood dragons were smashed into pieces and fell to the ground. Su Chen put away the Yuan 5 Extremes mountain, turned his eyes to the red-robed man, and said mockingly, "What else do you have?" "Brat, don't be so smug." The red-robed man suppressed his fear and roared at Su Chen. Then, he looked down at the blood-colored coffin and shouted respectfully, "Master, someone wants to kill your loyal servant. Please save me." Buzz. The blood-red coffin trembled slightly, and a cold voice came from within. "Human, stop here, and I will not pursue this matter. If you continue to be so arrogant, I will take your life." Su Chen stared blankly at the blood-colored coffin and curled his lips. "Who do you think you are?" "You are just a rat hiding in a coffin." Based on his style of doing things, the red-robed man had to eliminate the source of trouble. As for the person hiding in the coffin, although he did not know what cultivation level he was at, as long as he was on the mainland, he would definitely not exceed level 10. He had never been afraid of anyone below the sage level. How could he be scared off by a threat from the other party? With a click, the moment the lid of the bloody coffin opened, a burly man exuding a corpse aura stood up. A level 10 zombie? Su Chen raised his eyebrows and exclaimed softly. The man who came out of the coffin not only exuded a strong corpse aura, but his aura was also abnormally strong. He gave off the feeling that he was only slightly weaker than the pseudo-saint Wu Yazi. Judging from this, the other party was most likely a level 10 zombie. Chapter 708. Boy, you forced me to do this. Give me your life. The level 10 zombie's eyes were filled with a strong murderous aura. After glancing at Su Chen, his figure moved and suddenly disappeared on the spot. Not good. Suddenly, Su Chen felt a gust of evil wind blowing in his face. He immediately realized that the level 10 zombie was close to him. He was only level 8 now. If he was ambushed by the other party, he would be easily injured. Therefore, without the slightest hesitation, he directly used Atlas shapeshifting. When his figure rose to 30 meters, his spiritual power swept forward like a tide. Under the cover of the spiritual power, the level 10 zombie revealed his true body. However, at this time, he had already appeared in front of Su Chen and raised his hand to punch out. The spiritual force that was blocking the front was like a piece of paper, collapsing one after another. It was too late for Su Chen to dodge. However, he did not panic at all. He used golden scales on the arm and stretched out his palm to block in front of his chest. There was a muffled bang. The level 10 zombie's punch was like a hot knife through butter. It smashed heavily on Su Chen's open palm, but it only made Su Chen shake slightly. How is this possible? Seeing this, the level 10 zombie's eyeballs almost popped out, and he roared in shock. In his opinion, although Su Chen had used the shape-shifting technique and his cultivation had increased by 1 level, there was still a huge gap between him and Su Chen. Originally, he thought that even if this punch could not kill Su Chen, it could at least seriously injure Su Chen. Who would have thought that Su Chen's physical body and strength were so strong to an unimaginable extent? Not to mention hurting Su Chen, his punch didn't even cause a ripple. "You're just so." While the level 10 zombie was in a trance, a sarcastic voice suddenly sounded in his ears. Before he could react, a sharp pain suddenly came from his hand. It was Su Chen who had grabbed his fist and squeezed it into a ball of meat paste. Ah! The level 10 zombie let out a heart-wrenching scream, shaking the entire auction house. "Noisy!" Su Chen punched out, smashing the level 10 zombie heavily onto the ground. He then raised his leg and kicked the zombie's head. Because the force was too great, half of his head was even stomped into the ground. Not far away, the red-robed man was stunned when he saw this scene. He muttered in a daze, "Why is he so strong?" A level 10 zombie, the strongest zombie below the saint level, was humiliated by a level 9 human being. This made him feel incomparably incredulous. At the same time, the fear in his heart had reached its peak. After regaining his senses, he turned around and ran. However, before he could run a few steps, a short figure suddenly appeared from the side. "Wuxia is here." Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. He hurriedly opened the soldier recruitment system and bound himself to Wuxia. Then he shouted, "Senior, kill him." Wuxia locked onto the red-robed man and punched out. A strong gust of wind blew past, directly blasting the red-robed man into a bloody mist. Seeing the shiny fragments appear, Su Chen's lips curled up slightly. "Su Chen, don't be careless. Xueming still has a backup plan." However, at this moment, Wuxia suddenly reminded him loudly. The level 10 zombie was undoubtedly Xueming. Even as a false saint, Wuxia was somewhat afraid of him. Su Chen did not dare to be careless. He quickly lowered his head and looked down. At this moment, a blue flame suddenly ignited under his feet and spread toward his body. Chapter 709. What surprised Su Chen was that the flame under his feet did not have the slightest sense of heat. Instead, it revealed a penetrating coldness, which was very strange. "Su Chen, get out of the way. That is one of the 10 mystical flames, the bone-chill nether flame," Wuxia reminded him again. Su Chen had originally wanted to release an ice spell to compete with it. However, after hearing Wuxia's words, he gave up on this idea and quickly retreated. However, even though he wanted to leave, Xueming didn't want him to leave so easily. The bone-chill nether flame shot up and chased after Su Chen. "Do you think I'm afraid of you?" Su Chen snorted coldly. As he released his spiritual energy, he raised his hand and slashed out with his saber. A white torrent that exuded a chilling sensation swept toward the bone-chill nether flame. Sizzle! Sizzle! The spiritual energy that collided with the bone-chill nether flame seemed to be frozen and shattered. The white torrent that swept up behind it was easily pierced through. Seeing this, Su Chen's eyelids twitched. However, he did not retreat. When the bone-chill nether flame rushed in front of him, he raised his hand and threw out a small 5-colored mountain. In the blink of an eye, it grew to a size of 100 feet and blocked in front of him. Bang! The bone-chilling nether fire collided with the combined Essence 5 Extremes mountain, producing a dull sound. Then, it enveloped the integrated Primordial 5 Extremes mountain and tried to freeze it. However, the integrated 5 Extremes mountain was a divine weapon. In addition to its terrifying weight, It also had the 5 elements magic power. It was the defense of the 5 elements magic power that blocked the Bone Chill Nether Flame. However, the Bone Chill Nether Flame seemed to have a mind of its own. After realizing that it could not do anything to the integrated 5 Extremes Mountain, it charged towards Su Chen again. Don't fight the Bone Chill Nether Flame head-on. Let me take down Xueming first. Seeing that Su Chen's situation was not very optimistic, Wu Yazi reminded him. Suddenly, a huge black net appeared in his hand. He raised it and threw it toward Xueming. Wu Yazi, are you really going to oppose me? Xueming roared angrily. Wu Yazi remained unmoved and continued to control the giant net to close in on Xueming. Damn it! Xueming seemed to be very wary of the giant net. After dodging a few times, he entered the crimson coffin and closed the lid. Wu Yazi frowned when he saw this. The blood-colored coffin was called the 9-Dragon Blood Coffin. It looked ordinary, but it was actually a top-grade defensive divine artifact. With his strength suppressed to level 10, he couldn't break through the 9-Dragon Blood Coffin's defense, so he couldn't do anything to Xueming. Ah, old man, what can you do to me? Hiding in the 9-Dragon Blood Coffin, Xueming laughed wildly. Wu Yazi snorted and controlled the giant net to bind the 9-Dragon Blood Coffin. Although it still couldn't do anything to Xueming, it could temporarily imprison him. Then he rushed toward where Su Chen was. At this moment, Su Chen was really angry under the pressure of the Bone Chill Nether Flame. He took out the Chaos Skysplitter sword and slashed at the Bone Chill Nether Flame, extinguishing half of its flames. Then, he summoned the 4 great spiritual pets and the Steel Willow at the same time and attacked the Bone Chill Nether Flame together. Even though the Bone Chill Nether Flame was one of the 10 great exotic flames, it was still severely injured and could not fight back against such a powerful lineup. At this moment, it was curled up on the ground and suffering a storm of attacks. It let out a miserable cry. So many high-level spiritual pets. Wu Yazi, who had rushed over, was shocked when he felt the aura of the Flaming Phoenix and the other spiritual pets. Chapter 710. At this moment, Wu Yazi finally witnessed Su Chen's true strength. He couldn't help but sigh. No wonder he dares to say that no one below the saint level can do anything to him. In addition to his unparalleled strength, he also has the support of so many high-level spirit pets. How many people could withstand such a ferocious attack? Wu Yazi was dazed for a moment. When he regained his senses, he hurriedly shouted at Su Chen, "Su Chen, don't kill it." Everyone stop. Su Chen signaled for all his spirit pets to stop while he stared at the Bone Chill Nether Flame. As long as it moved even a little, it would continue to ravage it. Wu Yazi walked forward and saw that the Bone Chill Nether Flame had shrunk to the size of a fist and its aura was very weak. He secretly clicked his tongue. The Bone Chill Nether Flame was one of the 10 great exotic flames. It was really sad that it had been tortured to such a state. Senior, what other use does this fellow have? Su Chen didn't understand why Wu Yazi was stopping him. Wu Yazi smiled. You should have seen the strength of the Bone Chill Nether Flame. Don't you want to have such a spirit pet? What did he mean? The Bone Chill Nether Flame was clearly a flame. Could it be tamed like a mutant beast as a spirit pet? Su Chen was a little confused and looked at Wu Yazi in a daze. Wu Yazi didn't let Su Chen wait for long. He explained, the 10 great exotic flames, no matter which one it is, have spiritual intelligence when they are born. The Bone Chill Nether Flame has already risen to the level of a level 10 exotic flame. It has a high chance of becoming a saint flame and reaching the level of a saint. It's that awesome? Su Chen secretly sighed. Wu Yazi continued, exotic flames have spiritual intelligence. In essence, they can be tamed like mutant beasts. Hearing this, Su Chen fell silent. He had personally experienced the power of the Bone Chill Nether Flame. It could be said that none of the 4 great spirit pets, including the Diamond Willow, were a match for it. Of course he was tempted by such a powerful existence. However, since the Netherworld Flame obeyed Xueming's orders, wasn't it Xueming's spiritual pet? How could he tame it? Even if he forced it to drink the pet potion, it would be impossible to subdue it, right? Thinking of this, Su Chen probed, Senior, The bone-chill nether flame is Xue Ming's spirit pet, right? Can it still be subdued? It is indeed Xue Ming's, but if we kill him, won't it become ownerless? Wu Yizi reminded. Su Chen's eyes immediately lit up. He glanced at the blood coffin and asked, Senior, what is Xue Ming's background? Since Xue Ming was acquainted with Wu Yizi, he was clearly not a nobody. He used to be a saint-level powerhouse of the undead clan. Later, I heard that his time was up and he died. I never thought that this guy would actually become a zombie in order to survive. Wu Yizi explained. Su Chen was enlightened. When their lifespan was approaching, there were indeed people who would choose to become zombies. In the past, Jin Jiashi from the Tianan colony had chosen this path. Although Xue Ming has become a zombie and his power has dropped to levels 10, his coffin is a top-tier defensive sacred artifact. It will be very difficult to break it, Wu Yizi said with a serious expression. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. Let's go and try, Su Chen suggested. Wu Yizi suddenly remembered that Su Chen had a terrifying killing move. Back in the chaotic space, even a pseudo-saint-level powerhouse like him had suffered greatly from this move. If he used this move against the blood coffin, there was a high chance that he could break it open. Chapter 7:11. Okay, let's go and give it a try, Wu Yizi agreed. You guys keep an eye on this guy. If he dares to do anything strange, beat him to death. Su Chen instructed his spiritual pets, then he and Wu Yizi flew to the 9-dragon blood coffin. When Wu Yizi put away the giant black net, Su Chen immediately used the 10,000 lights 10 shadows fighting skill. Immediately, the 11 Su Chens joined forces to attack the 9-dragon blood coffin. This time, even the giant yellow sword was used. Boom! With a loud bang, the 11 attacks landed on the 9-dragon blood coffin at the same time. The 9-dragon blood coffin shook violently, and cracks appeared on the coffin lid like a spider web. Wu Yizi was overjoyed to see this. Although he couldn't break the 9-dragon blood coffin in one hit, he still caused serious damage to it. With a few more hits, he would definitely be able to break it. Stop! At this time, Xue Ming, who was inside the 9-dragon blood coffin, suddenly shouted, Wu Yizi, we have no enmity between us. Are you really going to kill me? In the face of Su Chen's terrifying attack, he was deeply afraid. At the same time, he realized that the 9-dragon blood coffin's defense couldn't withstand more than a few hits. Once the 9-dragon blood coffin was broken, he would have to face Wu Yizi and Su Chen's attacks at the same time. Only death would await him. No enmity between us? Did you forget when you attacked me? Su Chen shouted coldly and was about to attack again. Wait a minute. Xue Ming was anxious and said loudly, I was wrong before. I can make it up to you. What can you give me? Su Chen asked coldly. No matter what Xue Ming gave him, he had to kill him. The reason why he hadn't attacked yet was because the 10,000 lights 10 shadows fighting skill couldn't be used continuously. He needed a buffer time. I still have a large number of energy stones and a few space-breaking stones. I can give them to you, Xue Ming said hurriedly. Space-breaking stones? Su Chen's eyes lit up. He might not care about energy stones, but void-breaking stones were too important. Although the intelligent war chariot only needed 5 pieces to activate the function of traversing between realms, the more space-breaking stones that were installed, the stronger the traversing ability would be. Give me the item first. I want to verify it. Su Chen suppressed his excitement and said faintly. No, you have to swear an oath to spare my life. Only then will I give it to you. Xue Ming wasn't stupid. If he handed the item over and Su Chen turned hostile, who could he reason with? You don't know what's good for you. Su Chen rubbed his nose as his eyes gradually turned cold. Since this fellow is so shameless, there's no need to be polite with him. Wu Yizi sneered. He took out a golden hammer from his storage bag and smashed it down at the 9-dragon blood coffin. He had the same idea as Su Chen. He didn't want to let Xue Ming go, so of course, he wouldn't swear such an oath. Clang. The golden hammer landed heavily on the 9-dragon blood coffin, causing the entire coffin to tremble. However, this attack wasn't enough to break through the 9-dragon blood coffin's defense. When Su Chen saw this, he also smashed down with the integrated 5 extremes mountain. Bang bang. Boom boom. For a moment, the entire auction hall was filled with the sound of intense collisions. Su Chen and Wu Yazi smashed more than 100 times together before they finally broke through the 9 dragon blood coffin's defense. The moment the coffin lid shattered, Xueming shot up into the sky. Su Chen had been prepared for this, and the spiritual power that permeated the surroundings swarmed up, causing him to fall into a sluggish state. Wu Yazi also threw out a giant black net and trapped Xueming inside. Chapter 712. Wu Yazi's black net seemed to have a strong restraining effect on zombies. After Xueming was bound, wisps of white smoke rose from his body as he howled in pain. Su Chen did not waste the opportunity and punched Xueming's head. Instantly, thousands of fragments emerged from Xueming's headless body. Su Chen activated the automatic pickup function and collected all the fragments. Then he found a storage bag on Xueming's body. After opening it, he found a large pile of energy stones, ores, spiritual materials, and other items. Su Chen's main target was the space-piercing stone, so he began to search. Soon, he found 5 space-piercing stones, and the corners of his mouth curled up. Su Chen, what are you going to do with the broken 9 dragon blood coffin? Wu Yazi asked at this moment. Su Chen glanced at the 9 dragon blood coffin and shook his head. I have no use for this thing. If Senior likes it, you can keep it. Wu Yazi nodded and put it in the storage bag. Although the 9 dragon blood coffin was damaged, it was still a sacred weapon, and the materials used to refine it were very precious. If he took it back and modified it, he might be able to make a few weapons with good defense. Su Chen and Wu Yazi returned to their original spot and began to deal with the bone chill nether fire. Your master is already dead. Why don't you show your true form? Wu Yazi stared coldly at the bone-chill nether fire and suddenly shouted. Under Wu Yazi's thunderous roar, the bone-chill nether flame trembled violently. Then, it condensed and turned into a palm-sized demonic beast. It had a small nose, small eyes, and a round body. It looked quite cute. However, there was a sharp look in its eyes, as if warning Su Chen and the others not to have any ideas about it. The bone-chill nether fire was already in such a state, but it still dared to show an unruly appearance. Su Chen was a little unhappy. He stepped on it and rubbed it against the ground. Woo woo, the bone-chill nether fire was powerless and did not dare to resist. It wailed in pain. Su Chen, that's enough. Wu Yazi was worried that Su Chen would accidentally crush the bone-chill nether fire to death, so he reminded him. Su Chen raised his foot and stared at the bone-chill nether fire. He said coldly, I'll give you a chance to live. Are you willing to submit to me? Will you be my spirit pet? Under Su Chen's gaze, the bone-chill nether fire hesitated for a moment before nodding. I'm willing. It can talk? Su Chen was stunned for a moment, but he didn't think much about it. He then took out 3 bottles of pet potion and fed them to Little White. After nether fire consumed, Yasnather fires to the nether fire 2's eyes. Previously, although it was well-behaved, it was mostly afraid of Su Chen. Yazi of Yazi's heart. Even Wu Yazi could feel it. He was shocked by Su Chen. Normally, subduing a spirit pet was a gradual process. For a spirit pet like the bone-chill nether fire, it would take a long time to tame it. However, Su Chen only used 3 bottles of potions to do it. It was amazing. Su Chen played with the bone-chill nether fire for a while. He frowned and asked Wu Yazi, Senior, didn't you say that Xiaogu is a level 10 mysterious fire? Why do I feel that it's only level 8? There was a difference of 2 levels between level 8 and level 10. The difference in strength was like heaven and earth. Since he had subdued the bone-chill nether fire as his spirit pet, he naturally wanted it to be as strong as possible. Chapter 713. Wu Yazi sighed and explained, You almost killed it with your sword. It's already pretty good that it survived and retained its level 8 strength. Su Chen was stunned for a moment. He was very upset. If he had known that he could tame the bone-chill nether fire as a spirit pet, he would not have killed it. It was too late to regret now. Seeing that Su Chen was a little depressed, Wu Yazi smiled and said, "The Bone Chill Nether Fire is one of the top 10 mysterious flames. Even if it's level 8, its power is not to be underestimated. Moreover, if you give it more fire attribute ores, it should be able to return to level 10 quickly with its potential. It might even be able to advance to a sacred flame." Su Chen nodded and felt much better. Then he put all his spirit pets into the pet rearing space and left the auction house with Wu Yazi. After Xue Ming was killed, the bloody aura that shrouded the auction house gradually dissipated. The people in the auction house also woke up. He did not want to stay here and attract attention. After leaving the auction house, Su Chen quickly took out the intelligent war chariot. After getting on, he immediately opened the chaos space and called Qin Feng and the others out. After all, the chaos space was not complete. Su Chen was a little worried that there would be problems if they stayed here for too long. Seeing that everyone was unharmed, he was relieved. "Junior brother Su, what happened at the auction?" Qin Feng asked. Su Chen did not hide anything and gave a simple explanation of what happened at the auction. Hearing this, everyone was still in shock. They could imagine that if Su Chen was not by their side, they would have died at the auction today. "Su Chen, I've prepared all the materials to repair the chaos space. I plan to complete it completely." After everyone calmed down, Wu Yazi said, "Then I'll have to trouble you, senior." Su Chen nodded and opened the chaos space, sending Wu Yazi in. After a while, he looked at the central control screen. After thinking for a while, he ordered the intelligent war chariot, Satoshi, search for the Sun Moon Star Palace on Carefree Mountain. Head there immediately. The Carefree Mountain selection would be held in 20 days. He had to get there as soon as possible. The intelligent war chariot locked onto the Sun Moon Star Palace and sped forward. Later, Su Chen installed the remaining space-breaking stones on the intelligent war chariot and talked to it. "Satoshi, with your current shuttle ability, can you enter the land of the undead?" After all, there was still a year before the mysterious Heavenly Mainland Challenge would be held after the forgotten Autumn Mountain selection. He could not afford to waste such a long period of time. He could enter the undead continent and obtain a level 9 energy stone. "Master, with my current form, it's more difficult for me to enter a large realm like the undead race. I'll only have absolute confidence when I reach level 8, the intelligent war chariot said truthfully. Intelligent war chariot was currently at level 7. Upgrading it to level 8 would require level 8 energy ores or energy ores. Su Chen didn't have a single piece on him. After thinking for a moment, he asked Qin Feng, "Senior brother Qin, do you know where I can find level 8 energy stones? We have them in the Sun Moon Star Palace, but there aren't many of them. Other than that, the other major forces in Forgotten Autumn Mountain would more or less have some," Qin Feng said. Su Chen nodded slightly and started talking to the intelligent war chariot. "Satoshi, how many level 8 energy ores do I need to upgrade to level 8? 20 pieces, the intelligent war chariot replied immediately. Chapter 714. 20? Su Chen clicked his tongue. Thinking back to when he was in the Imperial Beast continent, he spent a lot of effort to get 3 level 8 energy stones. It was obvious how difficult it was to get level 8 energy stones. But no matter how difficult it was imperative for the intelligent war chariot to advance to level 8. Whether it was exchanging or robbing, he had to get all the level 8 energy stones from the 7 forces in the Forgotten Worries Mountain. Behind him, the intelligent war chariot sped along without any obstacles. During this time, Wu Yazi had finished repairing the chaos space. Qin Feng and the others had also reforged their weapons. Just as they entered the Forgotten Autumn Mountain area, the intelligent war chariot suddenly warned, "Master, there are more than 10 humans hiding on both sides of the mountain road ahead." The Forgotten Autumn Mountain itself was a vast and endless mountain range, and the 7 major forces were all located within it. There was only one way to enter the Forgotten Autumn Mountain and reach the Sun Moon Star Palace. And there were humans hiding on this road. Their purpose was obvious. They were obviously plotting something against them. Su Chen had offended too many forces, so he could not guess who was after him. He ordered the intelligent war chariot, Satoshi, lock onto them and enlarge the image. The intelligent war chariot locked onto them and transmitted a clear image to the central control screen. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and looked around. He saw more than 10 unfamiliar men gathered together and whispered something. "Senior Brother Chen, do you know them?" Su Chen asked. Since they appeared in the Forgotten Autumn Mountain area, he guessed that the ambushers were most likely from the 7 forces in the Forgotten Autumn Mountain. As a member of the Sun Moon Star Palace, Chen Feng should know them. Unexpectedly, Chen Feng looked at them for a while and shook his head. "I don't know them." This answer was out of Su Chen's expectations. So he asked Ling Mai and Xia Jingyi for advice. The answer he got was also unclear. Could they be from other forces? Su Chen guessed. After all, the Wenxi dynasty, the Holy Empire, and the barbarian Divine Temple were not on good terms with him. They might have sent people to ambush him. After pondering for a moment, Su Chen asked the intelligent war chariot, "Satoshi, what are their cultivations?" "There is a level 8 evolver, and the rest are level 7 evolvers," the intelligent chariot immediately replied. Su Chen frowned slightly. The other party's cultivation was too low, causing him to wonder if the other party was targeting him. Because with the strength he had displayed, if they wanted to kill him, they should at least eliminate those above level 9, right? Sending some level 7 and level 8 players over, wouldn't that be sending them to their deaths? Am I overthinking things? Su Chen shook his head and ordered, "Satoshi, continue forward." No matter what the other party's intentions were, they would know once they went over to investigate. The intelligent war chariot received the order and slowly moved forward. When it reached the ambush location, the dozen people stood on the road and blocked the intelligent war chariot's path. "Are you really here to cause trouble?" Su Chen was extremely surprised. He really didn't understand why the other party dared to stand out so brazenly with just these few pieces of material. Could it be that they were bandits from other places who didn't know his identity and wanted to rob him? However, Su Chen quickly denied this point. Level 7 and level 8 evolvers were strong no matter which force they were in. How could they fall to the point of robbing others? Not knowing what was going on, Su Chen simply opened the door and got out of the car. Chapter 7:15. When he was 10 meters away from these men, Su Chen stopped, squinted his eyes, and said, "What are you planning to do?" One of the skinny men with a long scar on his face looked at Su Chen and grinned. "You are Su Chen, right?" "That's right, I'm Su Chen. Tell me your purpose." Su Chen rubbed his nose and said naturally. Since the other party knew his name, it was obvious that they were targeting him. However, with this little strength, wasn't it suicide? "There is only one purpose, to kill you." The scarred man squinted his eyes, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. As soon as he said that, not only was Su Chen stunned, but even the people in the intelligent chariot were dumbfounded. What kind of person was Su Chen? He was the unparalleled god of death. He had always been the one killing others. Who could kill him? The scarred man was only a level 8 evolver. Who gave him the courage to say such words? Is there something wrong with this guy's brain? Yang Hao could not help but curse. Chao Ran and the others agreed. Either his brain is damaged, or he has never seen the world. He doesn't know how powerful Chenggu is. "Can you tell me your history?" Su Chen was not angry and said calmly. From the scarred man's face, he saw that the other party was calm and confident, as if he was absolutely sure that he could kill him. This aroused his great interest. The person who is about to die has no need to know so much. The scarred man sneered. "In that case, I can only make my move." Su Chen snorted, moved his feet, and rushed toward the scarred man. However, for some reason, he suddenly stopped after taking a few steps. "What's going on?" Su Chen frowned and looked at his feet, muttering. Just now, he had activated the speed enhancement function of the rapid war boots, but his feet did not shine with a purple light, and his speed did not increase. This was the first time such a situation had happened. Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. He tried to activate the rapid war boots again, but it still failed. It was as if there was some kind of power that cut off the connection between him and the rapid war boots. "Ha, are you surprised?" The scarred man laughed proudly and slowly walked toward Su Chen. As he walked, he said, "I knew you were a full-time cultivator. How could I kill you without some tricks?" "Su Chen, we should be trapped in the Heaven Confusion spiritual lock formation." But at this time, Wu Yizi and Leng Mai ran to Su Chen's side. Because the others were too weak, they did not rush over together. "Old man, you know quite a lot?" Seeing that Wu Yazi had exposed the secret, the scarred man's face turned gloomy. Wu Yazi ignored him and explained to Su Chen, being trapped in the Heaven Confusion spiritual lock formation, other than being able to exert the strength of an evolver, other professions, including sacred weapons, cannot be used. Hearing this, Su Chen came to a realization. At this moment he finally understood why the other party dared to ambush him despite knowing his identity. It turned out that they were relying on the Heaven Confusion spiritual lock formation. However, the other party obviously did not expect that among his 3 professions, an evolver was the strongest. Not to mention other things, just the fact that he had the ancient god-fiend body made him an existence that could not be killed. Moreover, Wu Yazi was also an evolver. Even if his cultivation was suppressed, he was still a level 10 evolver. Killing a group of evolvers below level 8 was as easy as crushing an ant. Chapter 716. "Senior, take down this scar-faced man and leave the rest to me," Su Chen said. Since he had figured out the reason, there was no need to waste any more time. "I can't wait any longer." Wu Yizi chuckled. With a move of his feet, he pushed the speed of a level 10 evolver to the extreme and appeared in front of the scar-faced man like a stream of light. Level 10. Feeling the terrifying pressure from Wu Yizi, the scar-faced man was so scared that he almost peed his pants. He did not even have the chance to resist before he was slapped to the ground by Wu Yizi. Half of his bones were shattered. Hiss! Seeing this scene, everyone except Su Chen sucked in a breath of cold air. Master Wu Yizi is actually so strong. Chen Feng muttered involuntarily. At first, they only knew that Wu Yizi was a blacksmith master, but they did not know his strength. Now that they saw Wu Yizi burst out with level 10 strength, they were all inexplicably shocked. On the other side, Su Chen took advantage of the other party's shock to rush forward and mercilessly slaughter the level 7 evolvers. Accompanied by more than 10 screams, the level 7 evolvers were all killed. Su Chen slowly walked to the scar-faced man and reached out to grab his neck, intending to drag him into the car. However, at this moment, Wu Yizi signaled Su Chen to calm down. "Senior, is there anything else?" Su Chen threw the scar-faced man to the ground. Wu Yizi nodded slightly, then looked at the scar-faced man and asked in a deep voice, "Where did you install the forbidden stone?" "Old man, do you know who I am? Let me go as soon as possible, or else." At this time, the scar-faced man was not afraid. Instead, he bared his teeth and threatened him. Su Chen would not let him have his way. He stepped on the scar-faced man's face and stomped half of his head into the soil. Then, he looked at Wu Yizi and asked, "Senior, what is the forbidden stone?" The forbidden stone is a kind of or that forbids spiritual power and divine sense. There are very few of them in the world. Its value is several grades higher than the void-breaking stone. The reason why the heaven disorientating spirit lock formation can be activated is entirely due to the power of the forbidden breaking stone, Wu Yazi slowly explained. According to Wu Yazi, the forbidden stone was definitely a treasure among treasures. Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. He turned to communicate with the intelligent war chariot. "Satoshi, is the forbidden stone useful to you?" The intelligent war chariot immediately replied, "Master, if you install it for me, I can open up a space similar to the spirit lock formation, but the range is much smaller, only 100 square meters." Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. Imagine, if he encountered a powerful spirit reader or magic reader, he could catch them off guard and cut off their magical power and spiritual power. Wouldn't he be able to kill them at will? Wu Yizi seemed to have seen through Su Chen's thoughts and reminded him, "Su Chen, the The spirit lock formation has an absolute effect on those below the sage level. However, when you reach the sage level, it is not so obvious. Su Chen was not too disappointed. The strength of a sage-level existence was unparalleled. Even if it had a slight effect on them, it was not easy. After a while, he calmed down and asked the scar-faced man coldly, "Tell me where the forbidden stone is? It can save me from physical pain." The scar-faced man sneered, as if he did not hear Su Chen's words. Seeing this, Su Chen rubbed his nose and turned to Chao Ran and shouted, "Chao Ran, this guy doesn't know what's good for him. Come and teach him a lesson." Coming, Chengge. Chao Ran got out of the car and ran excitedly to Su Chen's side. Chapter 717. Chengge, are we still going to follow the old rules? Before making a move, Chao Ran asked for instructions as usual. Su Chen nodded. Same old rules. Cut him into 1,000 pieces. Cutting him into 1,000 pieces was the best way to destroy a person's willpower. Even a level 9 expert like the Saint Lord of the Southern region could not withstand it. The scar-faced man was like a rock in a latrine pit, smelly and hard. It would be difficult to pry open his mouth unless he was ruthless. Got it, Chengge. Chao Ran licked his lips, took out the nether dagger, and walked forward. What do you want? Seeing Chao Ran walk over with a sinister smile, the scar-faced man's heart trembled. He kept moving backward. However, half of his body had already been crippled by Wuxia. How could he move? The more you struggle, the more excited I am. Chao Ran said mockingly. He grabbed the scar-faced man's arm and started cutting. The scar-faced man tried to break free, but Su Chen stepped on him and he lost all strength to resist. Chao Ran raised the dagger and cut off a piece of bloody flesh. Ah! The scar-faced man screamed like a pig being slaughtered. His face was distorted. What a F*** piece of trash. Chao Ran spat. The scar-faced man was a level 8 evolver. He could not even withstand such pain. It was a disgrace. Chao Ran, ignore him. Continue, Su Chen reminded him. Wuxia, who was at the side, clicked his tongue. It was the first time he had seen Su Chen's ruthless side. Chao Ran didn't waste any more time. He continued to slash, and pieces of flesh fell off the scar-faced man's arm. In the blink of an eye, more than a dozen pieces had been cut off. The scar-faced man's arm became a bloody mess. He screamed even louder. Just as Chao Ran was about to stab the scar-faced man's arm again, the scar-faced man shouted, "Stop! I'll tell you everything." So simple? Su Chen rubbed his nose and signaled to Chao Ran not to make a move for the time being. Then he stared at the scarred man and said coldly, "Where is the forbidden stone?" "In the bushes 10 meters behind you," the scarred man quickly replied. Su Chen turned around and looked back. Sure enough, he saw a lush bush not far away. "Junior brother Su, I'll go and take a look." Lung Mai called out and trotted over. After a while, he came back with a fist-sized black stone and handed it to Su Chen. "Senior, is this the forbidden stone?" Su Chen didn't recognize the forbidden stone and asked Wuxia about it. "That's right, the forbidden stone is indeed broken," Wuxia said with certainty after sizing him up. Su Chen was overjoyed and asked, "Senior, since the forbidden stone is in my hands, the heaven-confounding spirit lock formation should have lost its effect, right?" "It should be." Wuxia nodded and replied with uncertainty. Su Chen tried to open the storage bag and easily opened it. This also meant that without the forbidden stone, the heaven-confounding spirit lock formation only existed in name. After a while, Su Chen put the forbidden stone into the storage bag and turned to look at the scarred man again. He asked indifferently, "Tell me about your background." He didn't know the scarred man and had no enmity with him. However, the scarred man set up the heaven-confounding spirit lock formation to kill him. It was very likely that he was instructed by someone else. He had to find out who was behind this. The scarred man was much calmer at this time. After thinking for a while, he said straightforwardly, "I'm from the sanctuary." "Sanctuary?" Hearing that the scarred man came to the sanctuary, Wuxia and Lung Mai's faces changed. Su Chen also frowned slightly. The sanctuary was the place where the human race's saint-level powerhouses gathered. If the scarred man really came from the sanctuary, it was very likely that a saint-level powerhouse was behind this. Chapter 7:18. Su Chen felt that this possibility was very high because among the many forces he had offended, the Wenxi dynasty, the Assassin Alliance, and the Ouyang family were all backed by Sage Stage experts. Although the Sage Stage ancestor couldn't easily enter the continent, it was very easy for him to arrange for some experts to kill him with his own influence. What he didn't know now was which Sage Stage expert was behind this, or was it arranged by many forces? Who ordered you to kill me? Su Chen asked coldly. Once I say it, I will never be able to return to the sacred region. They won't let me go, so you have to protect me. The scarred man actually talked about conditions with Su Chen. You want to talk about conditions with me? You obviously haven't understood your position yet. Su Chen sighed and then winked at Chao Ran. Chao Ran understood tacitly. He moved his knife again and quickly cut the scar-faced man's flesh. Let me go. I'll say it, I'll tell you everything. The scarred man didn't persist for long and began to beg for mercy loudly. If you were so tactful earlier, you wouldn't have to suffer physical pain. Tell me, who ordered you? Su Chen sneered. It's the Feng family's ancestor, Feng Hexiang. After the scarred man finished speaking, he was like a deflated balloon. He knew very well that his fate was over when Su Chen learned about this matter. However, he seemed to be very unwilling and gritted his teeth and said, I'm a guard captain of the sacred region. Once you kill me, those Sage Stage experts won't let you go. I've already killed so many of your people, you're the only one left. The corner of Su Chen's mouth twitched slightly, and then he blasted the scarred man's head with a punch. No one in this world could threaten him, not even a Sage Stage expert. After killing the scarred man, Su Chen narrowed his eyes and murmured, Feng Hexiang, I'll kill you sooner or later. The Sage Stage expert was indeed powerful, and he couldn't do anything to him for the time being. However, when he advanced to the false saint realm, he had absolute confidence. With the way he was advancing, it was only a matter of time before he advanced to the false saint stage or the saint stage. Later, he destroyed the corpses of the scar-faced man and the others and returned to the intelligent war chariot with Wu Yazi. Satoshi, continue to the Sun Moon Star Palace. Su Chen instructed, then turned to Wu Yazi and asked, Senior, can you use the Forbidden Stone to forge a weapon? Installing the Forbidden Stone on the intelligent war chariot could activate the power of the Forbidden Stone. However, considering that the opponents they would encounter in the future would only become stronger and stronger, the intelligent war chariot would be easily damaged if it was exposed. If he could create a weapon with the power to break, it would be much more convenient, and there would be no more worries. Creating a brand new weapon is too difficult. However, I can fuse the Forbidden Breaking Stone into a high-quality weapon, and it will also have the power of forbidden breaking. Wu Yazi thought for a moment and said slowly. Hearing this, Su Chen's eyes lit up. How about that huge yellow sword? The huge yellow sword was a sage artifact. As it was a weapon used by the sacred lord of the North region, he didn't like to use it. If he could modify it, it wouldn't be a problem to use it occasionally. Fusing it into a sage artifact will make it more effective. There's no problem, Wu Yazi said affirmatively. Su Chen didn't hesitate and handed the Forbidden Breaking Stone and the huge yellow sword to Wu Yazi. Then I'll have to trouble you, Senior. Don't worry, it should be completed soon. Wu Yazi promised and entered the chaos space. Chapter 7:19. The Sun Moon Star Palace was built on a towering mountain. It was surrounded by mist and looked like a fairyland. The intelligent war chariot finally arrived after traveling for 3 days. Outside the mountain gate, Gu Tianhua and Lin Huayin had been waiting for a long time. When the intelligent war chariot appeared, the two of them greeted it excitedly. Su Chen and the others got off the car. As the roads in the Sun Moon Star Palace were rugged and not suitable for the MCV to travel, Su Chen put the intelligent war chariot into his storage bag. Junior brother Su, the the sect master wants to meet you alone. Coming to Su Chen's side, Gu Tianhua whispered. Su Chen was slightly stunned. He had just arrived at the Sun Moon Star Palace and had not even settled down. Why was the sect master so impatient? Gu Tianhua also felt that it was inappropriate. He smiled awkwardly and explained, the sect master has something urgent to discuss with you. Su Chen rubbed his nose and said calmly, then I'll go and take a look first. After that, Su Chen and Gu Tianhua left alone. The others entered the Sun Moon Star Palace under Lin Huayin's guidance. Senior Brother Gu, why is the sect master looking for me in such a hurry? On the way, Su Chen could not help but ask. I'm not sure about the specifics. Maybe it has something to do with the Forgotten Autumn Mountain preliminaries, Gu Tianhua explained. Su Chen thought for a while and felt that it was possible. The Forgotten Autumn Mountain preliminaries were very important. He had boasted that he would take all the spots. The sect master of the Sun Moon Star Palace was most likely here because of this. Half an hour later, the two of them appeared in front of a quaint palace door and stopped. Junior Brother Su, this is the place. The sect master has been waiting inside for a long time. You should go in quickly, Gu Tianhua reminded him. Su Chen nodded slightly and strolled into the palace. Gu Tianhua did not follow him in. He stood outside silently and waited. What surprised Su Chen was that there was only one person in the palace. Moreover, it was a woman who looked to be in her 30s. She was beautiful and had an otherworldly temperament. Su Chen was stunned. Before he came, he had learned that the sect master of the Sun Moon Star Palace was a level 10 cultivator. However, the woman in front of him was only 30 years old. How could she cultivate to level 10 at this age? Wasn't her talent a little too terrifying? Of course, there was another possibility. The sect master of the Sun Moon Star Palace was a sect master. You are Su Chen, right? The woman looked at Su Chen and asked softly. I'm Su Chen. Su Chen nodded and asked, Senior is the sect master of the Sun Moon Star Palace? My name is Xianxia. I am indeed the current sect master of Sun Moon Star Palace. The woman smiled sweetly, giving people a feeling like a spring breeze. Su Chen clicked his tongue. He did not expect the other party to really be the sect master. Moreover, she was such a young level 10 cultivator. As if she could see the doubts in Su Chen's heart, Xianxia explained, I'm already over 100 years old. It's just that when I was young, I took a fruit that could preserve my appearance forever. That's why I look like I'm 30 years old. You don't have to think too much about it. Su Chen came to a realization and asked, Sect Master, why did you call me here? Is there an urgent matter? Su Chen, I heard that you're only 17 years old this year. You're already a level 7 cultivator? Moreover, you're a full-time cultivator? Xianxia looked at Su Chen in a daze and asked in a deep voice. When Gu Tianhua had told her about Su Chen's situation, she had felt that it was inconceivable. Even when she saw Su Chen in person, she was still unwilling to believe it. A level 7 cultivator at the age of 17, and a full-time one at that. Anyone would think that it was a fantasy. Chapter 720. Yes. Su Chen nodded. He was now a full-time level 8 cultivator. In order to avoid causing too much commotion, he didn't say it explicitly. Hiss. After getting Su Chen's personal acknowledgement, Xianxia took a deep breath. After calming down a little, she continued to ask, I also heard that you plan to snatch all the spots for the Forgotten Autumn Mountain qualifiers this time? Su Chen said without hesitation, It's very easy for me to snatch all the spots. Seeing Su Chen's confident look, Xianxia swallowed her saliva and said in a low voice, Do you know that those who are participating in the qualifiers are the top experts of the 7 major forces? There's even a level 9 one among them. Are you that confident? What if they join forces to deal with you? Su Chen smiled and said indifferently, No one below level 10, including level 10, is my match. When he was level 7, he might be a little humble. But when he reached level 8 and used Atlas Polymorph, his cultivation would soar to level 9. Level 10 experts were no longer in his eyes. Xianxia opened her mouth slightly and looked at Su Chen in a daze. Her expression was blank. Su Chen was only level 7. Who gave him the courage to say such words? If he said that he was invincible among those of the same level, Xianxia could accept it. The key was that Su Chen said that he included everyone below level 10. Didn't that mean that she, the sect master of Sun Moon Star Palace, was included as well? Are you really that confident? Xianxia came back to her senses and probed. Sect master, if you don't believe me, you can find someone to exchange a few blows with me. No matter how many people there are, no matter what their cultivation is, I will take them all on myself, Su said with a serious expression. Since he planned to join Sun Moon Star Palace, he had to display enough strength to be valued. Only then could he obtain a relatively high position in Sun Moon Star Palace. Xianxia clicked her tongue and was once again stunned by Su Chen's words. She was now a little confused. Was Su Chen saying this because of his strength? Or was he just bragging? After pondering for a long time, he asked, Su Chen, why do you want to join the Sun Moon Star Palace? The Sun Moon Star Palace was not the only powerful force in the mysterious heavenly mainland. There were many forces that were even more powerful than the Sun Moon Star Palace. With Su Chen's talent and strength, no matter which force he chose, he would be greatly welcomed. Then why did he choose the Sun Moon Star Palace? The reason why Su Chen chose the Sun Moon Star Palace was actually very simple. It was to obtain a slot to enter the Void Battleground. This was because only by joining a powerful force would one be able to obtain the opportunity to be selected. Secondly, he had gone through thick and thin with Chen Feng and the others, so they got along quite well with each other. Choosing the Sun Moon Star Palace was a matter of course. Thus, Su Chen spoke of these two aspects. So it's to enter the void battlefield. Xianxia muttered to herself. There was a chance of awakening special abilities after entering the void battleground. Geniuses like Su Chen naturally flocked to it. Since Su Chen could say this without reservation, Xianxia actually believed him a little. Then, she said solemnly, I agree to let you join the Sun Moon Star Palace. Thank you, Sect Master. Su Chen cupped his hands and bowed. Xianxia nodded slightly and continued, the Forgotten Autumn Mountain selection is of great importance. I still want to test your strength. I hope you don't mind. What you hear may be false, but seeing is believing. Only by personally witnessing Su Chen's strength would she be able to feel at ease. Of course. Su Chen smiled. All right, follow me. Xianxia called out and walked straight out of the hall. Su Chen rubbed his nose and followed closely behind. Chapter 721. Sect Master. Seeing Xianxia walk out of the hall, Gu Tianhua hurriedly greeted her. Xianxia nodded slightly. Tianhua, come with us. Gu Tianhua responded respectfully. Then, he came to Su Chen's side and whispered, Junior brother Su, where is Sect Master taking us? Su Chen shook his head. Xianxia only said to follow him and didn't say where they were going, so he didn't know. 10 minutes later, the three of them entered a valley. This valley didn't have a name, but it was very famous in the Sun Moon Star Palace. The reason was that a level 10 expert lived here, Nan Lichuan. There were a total of 2 leveled 10 experts in the Sun Moon Star Palace. Besides Xianxia, it was Nan Lichuan. There were rumors that Nan Lichuan's strength was above Xianxia's, and he was known as the #1 expert in the Sun Moon Star Palace. What is Sect Master doing here? Gu Tianhua muttered with a frown. Su Chen roughly guessed Xianxia's purpose. Previously, he said that no one below levels 10 was a match for him. Xianxia definitely didn't believe him, so she wanted to let the #1 expert of the Sun Moon Star Palace test him. Senior brother Nan. As soon as they entered the valley, Xianxia called out to a wooden loft in the valley. Soon, a sloppy old man in a gray robe walked out of the loft. When he came closer, he squinted his eyes and said softly, Junior sister Xiang, what's the matter? Xianxia pointed at Su Chen and introduced, Senior brother Nan. His name is Su Chen. He's a new disciple of the Sun Moon Star Palace. Nan Linchuan was a little confused. He looked at Xianxia in a daze and thought to himself, the Sun Moon Star Palace doesn't have to come to me to introduce a new disciple, right? Could it be that she wants me to accept a disciple? Xianxia knew that Nan Linchuan had misunderstood. She smiled and explained, Senior Brother Nan, I only have one purpose here. I want you to spar with Su Qin. What? Nan Lichuan's expression froze. He even wondered if Xianxia was here to make fun of him. Asking him to spar with a junior? Wasn't Gu Tianhua beside him? Wouldn't it be more appropriate to let Gu Tianhua and Su Qin spar? Gu Tianhua was also dumbfounded. From beginning to end, he had never thought that Xianxia would have such an idea. He couldn't help but worry about Su Qin. Although Su Qin was strong, he was only at level 7. How could he be a match for Nan Lichuan, who was at level 10? Could it be that he wanted to give Su Qin a show of strength? Gu Tianhua began to guess. Nan Lichuan pulled Xianxia to the side and whispered, Junior sister, did that kid offend you before? You want to borrow my hand to teach him a lesson? Senior brother, you worry too much. Xianxia shook her head and explained, I really want you to compare notes with Su Qin. There's no other meaning. Nan Lichuan frowned when he heard that. He shouldn't be 20 years old, right? What's his cultivation base? He is indeed less than 20 years old, but he is a level 7 full-time practitioner. Xianxia said in a deep voice. This? Nan Lichuan took in a deep breath. A level 7 full-time practitioner who was less than 20 years old. This kind of talent was rare in the world. Even those sage-level masters didn't have this kind of achievement at this age. However, he still couldn't figure it out. Even a level 7 full-time practitioner wouldn't be a match for a level 10 practitioner. Xianxia should be very clear about this point. Then why did she still insist on having Su Qin spar with him? Although Su Qin is only at level 7, he has a transformation technique that can instantly raise his cultivation base by 1 level. At this point, Xianxia paused slightly and then said meaningfully, there's another point. Su Qin said that no one below level 10 is his opponent. Chapter 722. He's really arrogant. Nan Lichuan clicked his tongue and couldn't help but swallow his saliva. If Xianxia hadn't told him personally, he wouldn't have believed that a level 7 cultivator would dare to say such big words. Senior brother Nan, are you interested in sparring with Su Qin now? Xianxia probed. Nan Lichuan was also a proud person when he was young. He often challenged people who were stronger than him. Strictly speaking, Nan Lichuan and Su Qin were the same kind of people. Would Nan Lichuan back down when facing someone who was more arrogant than him? With Xianxia's understanding of Nan Lichuan would definitely agree to sparring with Su Qin. Sparring is fine. Nan Lichuan pondered for a moment and asked, but aren't you also level 10? Why don't you spar with him? Xianxia seemed to be prepared and explained, as the sect master of the Sun Moon Star Palace, if I lose to a disciple, would the Sun Moon Star Palace still have face? Nan Lichuan didn't like this kind of explanation. If Xianxia lost, the Sun Moon Star Palace would lose face, but if he lost, he wouldn't lose face? However, he soon felt relieved. Compared to others, Su Qin had already aroused his strong interest. All right, as long as that kid dares to agree, I'll play with him. Nan Linchuan said casually. Obviously, he didn't take Su Qin seriously. Seeing that Nan Lichuan agreed, Xianxia was delighted. She turned to Su Qin and said, Su Qin, are you willing to spar with senior brother Nan? Sure. Su Qin nodded. Xianxia's purpose was to see his strength. If he didn't agree, it would definitely arouse Xianxia's suspicion. Moreover, level 10 cultivators were rare. He also wanted to take the opportunity to sharpen himself. Gu Tianhua originally wanted to persuade him, but Su Qin agreed too quickly. He could only sigh faintly. Very good. Xianxia whispered and then reminded, Senior brother Nan is a level 10 cultivator, but don't worry, he will hold back and won't hurt you. On the surface, she was reminding Su Qin, but in reality, she was telling Nan Lichuan to be careful. It would be bad if he accidentally hurt Su Qin. Unexpectedly, as soon as Xianxia finished speaking, Su Chen said indifferently, "Senior Nan, please do your best because once I make a move, I'm afraid I won't be able to handle it." There was a deeper meaning behind what he said. It was as if he was trying to say that if Nan Lichuan didn't give it his all, he might get hurt. Hearing this, Xianxia and the others were stunned. They stared blankly at Su Chen, their hearts extremely complicated. They had seen many arrogant people, but they had never heard of someone like Su Chen. Even if your talent is extraordinary and your strength far surpasses your peers, you shouldn't boast so shamelessly, right? After all, you're only level 7 while Nan Lichuan is level 10. There's a difference of 3 levels. Would it kill you to keep a low profile? What they didn't know was that Su Chen wasn't boasting this time. He was thinking that if both of them held back during a fight, what would be the point? How would he train himself then? Therefore, it could be considered as a way to stimulate Nan Lichuan's fighting spirit. Alright, then I'll do as you wish. After being provoked by Su Chen's words, a hint of anger appeared on Nan Lichuan's face. As the number 1 expert of the Sun Moon Star Palace, he was being looked down upon by a level 7 junior. If he didn't teach Su Chen a lesson, where would he put his face? Tianhua, let's step aside first. Seeing that it was about time, Xianxia reminded Gu Tianhua. Yes. Gu Tianhua reacted and slowly stepped back. When Su Chen and Nan Lichuan were the only ones left on the scene, 2 powerful auras were emitted from their bodies. Chapter 723. He's a level 8 cultivator? Sensing that Su Chen's aura had reached level 8, Xianxia was shocked. Gu Tianhua's heart was in turmoil. He clearly remembered that a few days ago, Su Chen was only level 7. He could only reach level 8 through the transformation technique. How did he become a level 8 cultivator in just a few days? Could it be that Su Chen had another breakthrough in his cultivation in just a few days? It was terrifying to think about. This speed of cultivation was unheard of. Nan Lichuan was stunned for a second, then he laughed out loud. So, you've been hiding your true strength. No wonder you dare to challenge me. Then go ahead and unleash your full strength. Let this old man witness your true strength. Nan Lichuan's fighting spirit was ignited. It was as if he had returned to his younger days, filled with energy. Su Chen didn't underestimate his opponent. Instead, he used the Atlas shape-shifting spell. When his body was 10 feet tall, purple light surrounded his feet. Then he moved his feet and dashed towards Nan Lichuan like a bolt of lightning. So fast! Nan Lichuan's eyelids twitched. Although Su Chen was only level 9 after the transformation, his speed had surpassed a level 10 cultivator. This made Nan Lichuan stop underestimating him. Just as Su Chen was about to reach him, Nan Lichuan threw out a punch. However, as soon as he threw out the punch, an invisible force came from all directions. The force was so strong that it made him feel like he was sinking into the mud. Level 10 spiritual power. Nan Lichuan was shocked. Su Chen was a full-time cultivator, so it wasn't surprising that he had spiritual power. However, what he didn't expect was that Su Chen's spiritual power was much stronger than other cultivators of the same level. It was comparable to level 10. If he was trapped by this spiritual power, he would definitely be in a passive position. This was something that he didn't want to see. You want to trap me? You're too naive. Nan Lichuan gritted his teeth. Suddenly, a purple light shot out from his eyes and circled around his body, cutting the spiritual power around him into pieces. The spectral eye divine light truly lives up to its reputation. Xianxia sighed with emotion. The spectral eye divine light was a special ability that Nan Lichuan had awakened when he entered the void battleground. It was reasonable that he could easily defeat Su Chen's mind power. However, Xianxia didn't expect that Nan Lichuan would be forced to use his trump card by Su Chen as soon as they started fighting. From this, it could be seen that Su Chen definitely lived up to his reputation. Perhaps he really did have the ability to defeat a level 10 powerhouse. On the other side, Nan Lichuan had just been freed from the restraints when he saw a golden light in front of him. Before he could even see clearly what it was, he suddenly heard the shrill sound of a fist. Secret fist technique. When he realized that Su Chen was using a fist technique, Nan Lichuan quickly took out a wooden shield from his storage bag and placed it in front of him. Bang bang bang, after a series of clashing sounds, there was a dent on Nan Lichuan's wooden shield. From time to time, there would be wood shavings flying out. On the other hand, Nan Lichuan was also being pushed back by the huge impact. When Su Chen's Pegasus Meteor Punch landed, Nan Lichuan had already been pushed back dozens of steps unknowingly. Although he wasn't severely injured, it was inevitable that he would embarrass himself. Junior brother Su is so strong? Gu Tianhua was shocked when he saw Nan Lichuan being suppressed by Su Chen to the point that he couldn't even fight back. Even senior brother Nan isn't a match for him? Shang Tsili murmured in a daze. She looked a little dazed. Nan Lichuan, who was known as the #1 powerhouse in the Sun Moonstar Palace, was actually suppressed by Su Chen from the beginning until the end. She couldn't believe it. Chapter 724. Nan Lichuan was so frustrated that he almost vomited blood. As a level 10 master, he was being suppressed by a junior. It was so embarrassing. Finally, Su Chen was done with all his moves. Just as Nan Lichuan was about to fight back, the temperature around him suddenly dropped. Suddenly he realized that the temperature around him had plummeted, giving him the feeling that he had entered a glacial snowfield. An ice element spell. When Nan Lichuan finally realized what was happening, he saw a white current rushing towards him. The wave of the ice element spell made his heart skip a beat. An ice element spell that was beyond level 10? How was this possible? Nan Lichuan was shocked. He couldn't understand why Su Chen could cast such a powerful spell when he was only level 9. However, he didn't have time to think about it because the white current was already in front of him. At this critical moment, Nan Lichuan unleashed his spectral eye divine light once again. Just as he was about to break the white flood, suddenly, a scorching hot fireball shot towards him. What the F***CK? Nan Lichuan was so angry that he almost cursed. Su Chen was a full-time psychic. He cast one spell after another and didn't give Nan Lichuan any time to rest. This made Nan Lichuan extremely frustrated. If it was a level 9 spell, he wouldn't have cared about it. However, every single spell was much more powerful than those of the same level, which was a huge threat to him. If he couldn't dodge it, he would have to defeat it. Otherwise, he would definitely be injured. Isn't Su Chen's combat experience too rich? Shang Tsili's mouth was slightly open. She was shocked. The reason why Su Chen was able to suppress Nan Lichuan was not only because of his own abilities, but also because of his ability to control the situation. Every time Nan Lichuan was about to recover, Su Chen would take the opportunity to suppress him. He didn't give Nan Lichuan any chance at all. To be able to control the situation so well, he must have been through countless battles and accumulated a lot of experience. However, Su Chen was only 17 years old. How many battles could he have experienced? What she didn't know was that Su Chen had only been a cultivator for a year. However, in this 1 year, Su Chen had been fighting almost all the time, and the number of experts he had killed was uncountable. It was reasonable for him to have this kind of combat experience. On the other side, Nan Lichuan finally managed to block the fireball with his wooden shield. He didn't even have time to catch his breath. All of a sudden, a blue torrent emitting terrifying fluctuations of lightning swept over. A lightning spell! Nan Lichuan's body trembled. Gritting his teeth, he took out a golden glove from his storage bag and quickly put it on. Then he threw a punch forward. There was a thunderous roar. Although Nan Lichuan's punch managed to break the blue flood, he was badly injured as well. His entire arm and half of his body were charred. Moreover, he was pushed back by the aftershock of the explosion. After Nan Lichuan took a few steps back, a green vine suddenly appeared under his feet and tied him up. Wood Elemental Entanglement Spell. Nan Lichuan gritted his teeth in anger. He exerted his strength, and just as he was about to break free from the vine, another invisible force came from all directions. Damn it! Nan Lichuan was so angry that he couldn't help but curse. Just as he was about to release the ghostly eye light, he felt a strong pressure coming from above his head. What was that? Nan Lichuan looked up instinctively. When he realized that it was a small mountain with colorful lights, he felt a chill down his spine and shouted, "A sacred weapon." Chapter 725. Su Qin's Stop. Junior brother Su, calm down. Shang Tsili and Gu Tianhua's expressions changed drastically as they shouted in unison. Once Su Chen's combined 5 extremes mountain fell, even if Nan Lichuan didn't die, he would be seriously injured. This was something they didn't want to see. Su Chen had already achieved his goal, so of course, he wouldn't continue to attack. Taking back the combined 5 extremes mountain, he said lightly, "Senior Nan is very powerful. I admit defeat." Nan Lichuan's face turned red when he heard that. Even his ears were red. Su Chen wanted to give him a way out, and he knew that. But could he give up? Shang Tsili and Gu Tianhua saw it clearly. If he gave up, where would he put his old face? "I'm not as good as you. I admit defeat. You don't have to pretend anymore." Nan Lichuan snorted. He was feeling very frustrated. Su Chen wasn't angry. He smiled faintly and said, "Thank you, senior, for letting me win." Shang Tsili heaved a sigh of relief. Her thoughts moved slightly as she walked forward and whispered, "Senior brother, Su Chen, come with me." With that, she walked straight to the wooden loft. Su Chen rubbed his nose and followed closely behind. Nan Lichuan looked at Shang Tsili's back and snorted lightly, looking as if his anger hadn't subsided. If it wasn't for Shang Tsili's bad idea to let him spar with Su Chen, he wouldn't have made such a fool of himself. Fortunately, there weren't many people present. As long as they kept their mouths shut, this matter wouldn't spread. Before leaving, Nan Lichuan glared at Gu Tianhua fiercely. The meaning was very clear. If he dared to talk nonsense, he wouldn't be polite. Gu Tianhua trembled and nodded heavily. It was as if he had seen through Nan Lichuan's heart and made a promise. Seeing this, Nan Lichuan was finally relieved. Then he walked towards the wooden pavilion as well. In a room in the pavilion, Shang Tsili looked at Su Chen with a solemn expression and said in a low voice, "Su Chen, since you have already joined the Sun Moon Star Palace, there are some important matters that I must tell you." "Sect Master, please speak your mind." Su Chen replied casually. Shang Tsili nodded slightly. After exchanging glances with Nan Lichuan, she slowly said, "Before we talk, I want to know if you can advance to the sage stage in the shortest time possible." It was extremely difficult for others to reach the Saint Realm. It was almost impossible. Otherwise, the human race wouldn't have no new Saint Realm cultivators in the last 10,000 years. However, this was not difficult for Su Chen. He had leveled up by collecting fragments. As long as he had a certain number of fragments, he could purchase attribute fragments to level up. "Sect leader, what do you mean by short time?" Su Chen rubbed his nose and asked. "Within 100 years, Shang Tsili said in a deep voice. 100 years? Su Chen shook his head. He felt that Shang Tsili was looking down on him too much. One had to know that it had only taken him a year to reach level 8. In 100 years, he might even be able to advance to the legendary god stage. Of course, he wouldn't say this out loud. Reaching level 8 in a year was too frightening. It was hard to guarantee that it wouldn't attract trouble. Su Chen pondered for a while and said, "It won't take that long. If it's fast, it'll take a year. If it's slow, it'll take 3 to 5 years. I will definitely advance to the sage stage." Advance to the sage stage in a year? Su Chen was only level 8. He was still a few levels away from the sage stage. How could he dare to make such a promise? Shang Tsili and Nan Lichuan were stunned. After a long time, Shang Tsili came back to her senses and probed, "Su Chen, are you really so confident? Are you joking with us?" Chapter 726. Sect Master, I wouldn't joke about such things. Su Chen laughed and continued, "However, if I want to ascend to the saint stage in a short time, I'll need a lot of cultivation resources." Actually, cultivation resources weren't of much help to him. He just remembered that the intelligent war chariot needed level 8 energy stones to reach level 8. The Sun Moon Star Palace happened to have some, so he casually mentioned it to see if he could get his hands on level 8 energy stones. As long as you can ascend to the Saint stage within 100 years, all of the cultivation resources in the Sun Moon Star Palace will be given to you first. You can use as many as you want. It doesn't matter even if you use them all up, Xianxia promised. There's such a good deal? Su Chen clicked his tongue, faintly feeling that things weren't so simple. He asked, Sect Master, why are you in such a hurry? Is there something else? I would have told you even if you hadn't asked. Xianxia's expression was solemn. She sighed faintly and continued, something has happened to our 2 Saint Stage ancestors. That's why we're in such a hurry to ascend to the Saint Stage. Hearing this, Su Chen's eyelids twitched. Saint-level powerhouses were definitely the pillars of a sect. Once something happened to them, it would be devastating to the sect. It was very likely that the sect would be divided by other forces and completely destroyed. Sect Master, what happened to the 2 Saint Stage ancestors? Su Chen asked. At the Saint Stage, there wouldn't be a problem for no reason. There must be some secret behind it. Xianxia sighed and said slowly, Ancestor Worski's time is up. I'm afraid he'll pass away in 100 years. As for Ancestor Worski, he completely disappeared when he entered a ruin in the void. I don't know if he's dead or trapped there. I see. Su Chen suddenly understood. At this moment, he finally understood why Xianxia was in such a hurry to ascend to the Saint Stage within 100 years. Of the 2 ancestors, one was about to pass away, and the other was missing. If there was no new Saint Stage in 100 years, the Sun Moon Star Palace would completely fall and lose its glory as a major sect. If it was serious, the enemy forces might even take the opportunity to eliminate it. Sect Master, it won't be a problem for me to become a saint. Don't worry. After figuring out what was going on, Su Chen assured Xianxia. That's good. Xianxia sighed. Su Chen's talent and strength were visible to the naked eye, so he was full of confidence in Su Chen. Sect Master, if there's nothing else, I'll head back first, Su Chen said calmly. He had been separated from Tan Lin and the others for quite some time, so it was inevitable that he was worried. Okay, if you need anything just tell Gu Tianhua and let him do it. Xianxia replied. Upon hearing this, Su Chen was not in a hurry to leave. Instead, he said, Sect Leader, if you have any level 8 energy stones, please give me some first. I need them urgently. How much do you need? Xianxia asked. Su Chen was now the Sun Moon Star Palace's greatest hope. As long as he made a request, she would do her best to fulfill it. About 20, Su Chen said after thinking for a while. The intelligent war chariot needed 20 level 8 energy stones to upgrade to its level 8 form. He did not ask for more. Our Sun Moon Star Palace only has 7 level 8 energy stones. I'll get someone to send them to you later. I'll think of a way to exchange for the rest from other forces. Thank you, Sect Master. Su Chen was overjoyed. He thanked her and left. Later, under Gu Tianhua's guidance, the 2 entered another valley. The area of this valley was relatively large, and the environment was relatively clear. Furthermore, there were rows of wooden buildings erected in the valley. Chapter 727. Seeing that Wu Yang and the rest had gathered here, Su Chen was relieved. Junior brother Su, what do you think of this place? Chen Feng came to Su Chen's side and asked. It's not bad. Su Chen nodded. He could not stay in the Sun Moon Star Palace for long. He would have to leave after the preliminaries ended. He would only stay here for a few days, as long as the environment was peaceful. That's good. Chen Feng replied with a smile. Then he brought Su Chen around the valley. As there were still a few days before the preliminaries, everyone took advantage of this time to enjoy themselves. On the 3rd day, Chen Feng and the rest suddenly brought 3 strangers for a visit. Junior brother Su, let me introduce you. This is our Sun Moon Star Palace's junior sister Qiu. Chen Feng pointed at a short girl with a ponytail, who looked a little weird, and introduced her to Chen Feng. Su Chen nodded politely. Qiu pouted and looked at Su Chen unhappily. These two are senior brother Li Zimo and senior sister Xianxia from the Frost Ice Palace. After introducing Qiu Ying, Chen Feng introduced the two from the Frost Ice Palace. Li Zimo was 1.8 meters tall. His face was chiseled, giving people a strong sense of three-dimensional. Xianxia, on the other hand, was a beautiful woman with long black hair and a charming face. Su Chen looked at the two of them and greeted, "Senior brother Li, senior sister Nia." Hearing that, Li Zimo glanced at Su Chen. His eyes were filled with disdain, as cold as a glacier. Xianxia was not as cold as Li Zimo. She smiled and said, "Junior brother Su, you're already a level 7 cultivator at such a young age. You're indeed a dragon among men, the best of our generation." "Senior sister Nia, you flatter me." Su Chen was a little embarrassed to be praised in front of his face. However, at this moment, Li Zimo snorted. "Junior sister Nia, rumors are just rumors. Some people just like to fish for fame." It was obvious that he was looking down on and questioning Su Chen's strength. The faces of Chen Feng and the others instantly turned ugly. Su Chen's strength was obvious to all, and they also understood Su Chen's temper. Su Chen was not someone who was willing to suffer a loss. Li Zimo's words could very well lead to Su Chen's revenge. At that time, he might even be killed on the spot. The relationship between the Frost Palace and the Sun Moon Star Palace had always been good. Naturally, they didn't want to see a conflict happen. Junior apprentice brother Su, senior apprentice brother Li might not know your strength, so he just said it casually. "Please don't take it to heart," Chen Feng hurriedly explained. Xianxia echoed, "Junior brother Su, senior brother Li's temper is just like that. Don't take it to heart." Su Chen rubbed his nose and said indifferently, "It's fine. I've never bothered to lower myself to the level of some nobodies because they're not worthy." The underlying meaning of his words was simply treating Li Zimo as an ant. The moment these words came out, the surroundings fell silent. Chen Feng and the rest all secretly shook their heads and sighed. "Li Zimo, oh Li Zimo, of all people, you could have provoked. Why did you have to provoke Su Chen of all people?" Xianxia swallowed a mouthful of saliva and stared at Su Chen in a daze. She wanted to say something but couldn't say it in the end. Li Zimo, who was humiliated by Su Chen, had an indiscriminate look on his face. He stared fixedly at Su Chen and growled in a low voice, "You dare to scold me?" Su Chen pursed his lips. "I never scold people. Those I scold aren't people. If you insist on admitting it, I can't do anything either." Chapter 728. Li Zimo was so angry that his mouth was trembling. Chen Feng and the rest were speechless. They only knew that Su Chen was powerful, but they didn't expect Su Chen to be so good at scolding people. "Su Chen, you are too rude. How can you talk to senior brother Li like that?" At this moment, Qiu Ying walked up angrily. She stared at Su Chen and lectured him like an elder. Su Chen was stunned. Qiu Ying was a member of the Sun Moon Star Palace, but she was speaking for an outsider. Was there something wrong with her brain? "Junior sister Qiu, don't talk nonsense." Gu Tianhua kept winking at Qiu Ying. Unexpectedly, Qiu Ying ignored him and continued, "Also, you are a new disciple of the Sun Moon Star Palace. Why don't you call me senior sister?" Su Chen rubbed his nose and looked at Qiu Ying from head to toe. He shook his head and said, "Look at you. Those who don't know are not weaned yet. You should take the time to grow up." Qiu Ying looked like a little girl, but she was already 20 years old. Her inability to grow up had always been her sore spot. She hated it when people joked with her about this. Having Su Chen poked her sore spot, she immediately flew into a rage and roared angrily, "Su Chen, I want to duel with you. I want to challenge you." When they heard that Qiu Ying wanted to challenge Su Chen, Chen Feng and the rest's faces changed. Gu Tianhua was almost scared to death. It was true that Qiu Ying was the strongest among them, but it also depended on who she was compared to. Compared to Su Chen, it was like the difference between heaven and earth, the difference between cloud and mud. How strong was Su Chen? He was someone who could easily defeat Nan Lichuan. If Qiu Ying really challenged Su Chen, She would definitely be humiliating herself. She might even lose her life. Qiu Ying, don't mess around, Gu Tianhua scolded coldly. As the senior brother of the Sun Moon Star Palace, his words carried some weight. Normally, Qiu Ying would not dare to talk back. However, he didn't know what was wrong with him today, but he still insisted on doing things his way. He shouted at Su Chen, "Su Chen, do you dare to accept it or not? If you don't dare to accept it, apologize to me face to face and I will forgive you." Hearing this, Su Chen's eyes gradually narrowed, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. He said in a low voice, "How about this, you and Li Zimo come together." Li Zimo had been jumping around quite happily just now. Since he wanted to teach them a lesson, he might as well teach them a lesson together. "You want to fight both of us?" Li Zimo asked in surprise. He had long found Su Chen an eyesore, but he hadn't been able to find an opportunity to do so. He had never thought that Su Chen would take the initiative to bring it up. He could use this opportunity to vent his anger. Qiu Ying's face was gloomy. She gritted her teeth and said, "Are you looking down on me?" Among the younger generation of the Sun Moon Star Palace, her strength was enough to be ranked first. Even Gu Tianhua, the eldest senior brother, was no match for her. Su Chen's contempt for her made her extremely angry. Su Chen's lips curled slightly, and he smiled contemptuously. "I'm not looking down on you, I really do. Because the two of you are not even comparable to ants in my eyes. I can easily crush you with a finger." Sigh. Chen Feng sighed helplessly. He knew that Su Chen was angry. At this time, no one could stop Su Chen. He could only sigh silently for Qiu Ying. Nie Xichen, who originally had a good impression of Su Chen, frowned deeply. Su Chen's arrogance made her a little unhappy. "Junior brother Su, please go easy on me later." Gu Tianhua knew that he couldn't stop Su Chen, so he reminded him softly. Su Chen smiled slightly. "I will teach them a little lesson. I won't take their lives." Chapter 729. I agree. Li Zimo could no longer suppress the anger in his heart and said loudly, "I agree too." Qiu Ying's face was also filled with anger. Seeing that this battle was unavoidable, everyone could only step back in unison and make way for the battle. "The two of you can attack now." Su Chen narrowed his eyes and said with disdain. Li Zimo and Qiu Ying looked at each other and charged at Su Chen at the same time. Just as the two of them were about to reach him, Su Chen curled his lips and released his mind power. What level is this mind power? Li Zimo and Qiu Ying's faces changed completely when they felt an extremely strong invisible force coming at them. Both of them were only at level 7 while Su Chen's mind power was comparable to level 9. How could they resist it? In an instant, they lost their ability to move and couldn't even move their eyelids. A level 8 cultivator. Feeling the violent aura coming from Su Chen, Nie Xiqian's face changed drastically. Chen Feng and the rest were also confused. They all remembered that Su Chen was still at level 7 a few days ago. How did he become level 8 in the blink of an eye? Could it be that he had broken through again in just a few days? Gu Tianhua knew that Su Chen had reached level 8, but he didn't have time to explain. "I told you that you were ants, but you didn't believe me." Su Chen moved his feet and appeared in front of Qiu Ying like a ghost. Then he slapped her. A clear and crisp sound was heard. Qiu Ying was slapped, and half of her face was swollen. Fortunately, Su Chen held back most of his strength and only slammed her to the ground instead of taking her life. After teaching Qiu Ying a lesson, he turned to look at Li Zimo with a mocking smile. Woo! Li Zimo was terrified. He screamed with all his might, but he couldn't make a sound. "Junior brother Su, have mercy." Seeing that Li Zimo was in danger, Nie Xiqian screamed in desperation. Su Chen turned a deaf ear to him. Since he had the intention of teaching him a lesson, he would not let him off so easily. With a soft snort, he controlled his spiritual power and began to mercilessly wreak havoc on Li Zimo. Crack crack. Accompanied by the crisp sound of bones cracking, Li Zimo's bones broke inch by inch. It was so painful that his face was twisted together. What terrifying strength! How cruel! Nie Siqin gritted her teeth, her heart trembling. Su Chen quietly appreciated it for a while. Just as Li Zimo was about to faint, he withdrew his mental strength. Bang! Li Zimo slumped to the ground weakly, gasping for air. His face was filled with pain, and his eyes were filled with fear as he looked at Su Chen. "Thank you for showing mercy, junior brother Su." Nie Siqin quickly stepped forward. Not only did she not blame Su Chen for being so vicious, she even thanked him. Although Li Zimo looked very miserable, his life was not in danger. He could completely recover after resting for a month or two. This meant that Su Chen had indeed shown mercy. Su Chen nodded coldly. Then he turned to Gu Tianhua and said in a deep voice, "Senior brother Gu, since Li Zimo is injured, there is no need to give him the spot for the preliminaries." Gu Tianhua nodded, indicating that he understood. Su Chen wanted to take all the spots for the preliminaries. According to the original plan, he would leave 2 spots for the Ice Palace. Now that Li Zimo was in such a state, he would definitely not be able to participate. There was no need to give him the spot. Then, Su Chen glanced at Qiuying and said, "As for Qiuying, there is no need for her to participate in the preliminaries. After all, her strength is too weak. She will only embarrass our Sun Moon Star Palace if she participates." Chapter 730. What right do you have to make this decision? Qiuying got up from the ground and roared angrily. After witnessing Su Chen's strength, she was actually scared out of her wits. However, the quota for the preliminaries determined whether or not they could enter the Void Battleground. It was of great significance. Even if she had to take the risk of being taught a lesson by Su Chen again, she had to fight for it. "Junior brother Su, why don't you reconsider?" Chen Feng and the others tried to persuade him. After all, Qiuying was the strongest among them. If she did not participate in the preliminaries, it would be a great loss for the Sun Moon Star Palace. "I've made up my mind. Even if the sect leader is here, he can't change my decision." Su Chen's voice was as cold as ice, and he spoke in an unquestionable tone. Hearing Su Chen's words, Nie Siqin's heart trembled. She really did not understand why Su Chen, who was just a disciple, dared to boast so shamelessly. His words seemed to imply that the sect leader of the Sun Moon Star Palace had to listen to him. However, Su Chen was only at level 8. Even if he had extraordinary strength and talent, he could not be above the sect leader, right? Chen Feng and the others looked at each other, and they were suddenly in a difficult position. They understood Su Chen's temper. Once he made up his mind, no one could stop him. If he continued to speak, it was likely that he would anger Su Chen, and the gains would not make up for the losses. Gu Tianhua thought for a moment, then gritted his teeth and said, "Then we'll do as junior brother Su says." He could still tell what was more important. Moreover, at the end of the day, Qiuying was the one who provoked Su Chen. Now that she was kicked out, she only had herself to blame. "Senior brother Gu." Qiuying did not expect Gu Tianhua to really agree. She was so angry that her nose was crooked. "All right, junior sister. Stop fooling around." Gu Tianhua's face darkened as he spoke in a muffled voice. Today, he had brought some people to get to know Su Chen. He did not expect such a thing to happen. The main culprits were the 2 troublemakers, Qiuying and Li Zimo. Because of this, he had a stomach full of anger and did not plan to be nice to Qiuying anymore. "All of you are bullying me. I'm going to tell Master and ask him to uphold justice for me." Qiuying roared and ran out of the valley. After Qiuying left, Nie Siqin also said goodbye and left with Li Zimo. Although Li Zimo's life wasn't in danger, his injuries were still quite serious. If he didn't take the time to treat it, there might be future problems. "Junior brother Su, don't take what happened today to heart." Chen Feng came to Su Chen's side and said embarrassedly. "Don't worry, I won't argue with a little girl," Su Chen said casually. Chen Feng clicked his tongue and thought to himself, "You took away all the spots for the selection. Is this how you don't care?" Of course, he didn't dare to say this out loud. He could only curse in his heart. "Senior brother Chen, Senior Wu Yazi has finished modifying your weapons." Su Chen suddenly recalled this matter and took out the weapons of Chen Feng and the other two from his storage pouch. Since Lung Mai didn't come, he also handed Lung Mai's weapon to Chen Feng. Junior brother Su, help us thank Master Wu Yazi. Chen Feng and Xia Jingyi were overjoyed. Su Chen nodded and walked to Gu Tianhua's side. He whispered, Senior brother Gu, how is the relationship between our Sun Moon Star Palace and the Qilin sect? Gu Tianhua didn't know why Su Chen asked this question, but he still answered truthfully. The Qilin sect is considered a neutral sect in Forgotten Autumn Mountain. Our relationship with the other major forces is very ordinary. Chapter 731. Senior brother Gu, I'll have to trouble you to inform the Qilin sect. Tell them that we can give them 2 spots in the selection competition. 1 spot can be exchanged for 5 level 8 energy stones. Su Chen thought for a moment and said calmly. Since Qiu Ying and Li Zimo's spots had been taken away by him, it would be a waste if he did not use the 2 spots. He might as well trade them. Since the Qilin sect was a neutral sect, it would be most appropriate to sell them the spots. Junior brother Su, I'm afraid the Qilin sect won't trade with us, Gu Tianhua said in a deep voice. Gu Tianhua replied in a deep voice. Then he explained, Xiao Ran is the only one from the Qilin sect who is participating in this selection. This person is extremely conceited, and his strength is indeed strong. He is determined to obtain a spot in this selection. Then forget it, Su Chen said casually. He had seen many conceited people. When they were in the arena of the preliminaries, he would make them feel despair. When that time came, they would have to think twice before proposing a trade. Moreover, it would definitely not be as simple as 5 energy stones. He could raise the price on the spot. It was even possible to set up an auction, and whoever offered the highest price would be able to get the quota. Of course, the Ouyang clan and the Assassin Alliance were excluded. Junior brother Su, there's something else I need to tell you. Gu Tianhua heaved a sigh of relief and reminded him, I've received news that the other forces are likely to have joined forces to eliminate us. It's fine. It's just a bunch of clowns. Su Chen smiled faintly, his face relaxed. It was normal for the other party to join forces when they knew that they were no match for him. He had already expected this, so he wasn't surprised. Actually, to him, it did not matter if the other party joined forces or not. He could crush them with his strength. At most, he would need to spend some effort. Seeing that Su Chen was so confident, Gu Tianhua did not say anything else. Senior brother Gu, I'll bring you to play a game, Su Chen called out. Since he had nothing to do these few days, he planned to ask Gu Tianhua to play Fight the Landlord. Besides, as the number of people increased, multiplayer card games like Level Up and Protect the King could be developed. Play a game? Gu Tianhua was a little confused. Xiao Ran, get ready. Let's play Landlord. Su Chen instructed. When everyone heard this, they immediately perked up. Gu Tianhua watched for a while, and with Su Chen's explanation, he quickly understood the essence of Dodiju. Moreover, as soon as he started, he was deeply immersed in it, unable to extricate himself. Sometimes, he would even argue with the others to the point of flushing with anger just to win a round. He did not have the demeanor of an eldest senior brother at all. Just as everyone was having fun, Qiu Ying suddenly brought a white-haired old man into the valley. Master, he is Su Chen. He is the one who bullied me. You must seek justice for me. Qiu Ying pointed at Su Chen and said angrily. The white-haired old man squinted his eyes and sized up Su Chen, revealing an unfriendly expression. Junior brother Su, he is an elder of our Sun Moon Star Palace. His name is Lu Yen, and he is a level 9 evolved being, Gu Tianhua reminded softly. Then, he put down the cards in his hand and said politely to Lu Yen, Elder Lu, what brings you here? You already know the answer. Lu Yen snorted and turned to question Su Chen. Kid, are you the one who bullied my disciple? Su Chen rubbed his nose and said calmly, I'm afraid you have misunderstood. I am not bullying her. I am teaching her a lesson. Lu Yen was here to denounce him. He was very clear about this and did not take it to heart. In the Sun Moon Star Palace, even Shang Tsili had to be courteous to him. What was Lu Yen to her? Chapter 732. Do I need you to teach my disciple a lesson? Who do you think you are? Lu Yen was enraged when he saw how arrogant Su Chen was, completely disregarding him as an elder. Chen Feng and the rest's hearts skipped a beat when they heard that. Lu Ran actually dared to insult Su Chen to his face. He was in deep trouble now. With Su Chen's temper, he would most likely beat Lu Yen up. I've already taught her a lesson. What are you going to do now? Su Chen narrowed his eyes and sneered. After beating the young one, the old one would come. Since both of them were not sensible, he might as well get rid of them. You hit my disciple. As her master, I can't just sit back and do nothing. Kneel down and admit your mistake to Chiao Ying and this matter will be over. Otherwise, I won't go easy on you. Lu Yan's face was ferocious as he glared at Su Chen and threatened. Su Chen, did you hear that? Kneel down now or my master will beat you up. Chiao Ying also shouted. Is this guy an idiot? Chen Gu had already let him off once. Why does he still want to court death? Yang Hao and the rest were indignant as they pointed at Chiao Ying and scolded her. Chen Feng and Xia Jingyi's expressions changed and their hearts were in a mess. With Su Chen's violent temper, if they were to fight, Chiao Ying and Lu Chen would definitely be destroyed without leaving any residue. Gu Tianhua took a deep breath and his heart was in his throat. He thought for a while and hurriedly said to Lu Yen, Elder Lu, Junior Chiao Ying was in the wrong previously. It's only right that Junior Su taught her a lesson. Originally, he thought that after explaining the situation, Lu Yen would stop. Then he could mediate between them and perhaps resolve this unpleasantness. Unexpectedly, Lu Yen ignored him and continued to look furious. He said coldly, So what if Chiao Ying was in the wrong? Do you think it's up to others to teach her a lesson? Do you think I'm a pushover? It's over. Gu Tianhua sighed deeply. Lu Yen didn't listen to his advice and insisted on going his own way. Even if God came, he wouldn't be able to save him. Senior Brother Gu, leaving scum like this in the Sun Moon Star Palace will only ruin our reputation. Today, I will eliminate these two scourges for the Sun Moon Star Palace. Su Chen's voice was as cold as a glacier, and an extremely strong murderous aura emanated from his body. Lu Yan's words had really infuriated him. If it was just a lesson, it wouldn't be enough to quell the anger in his heart, and it would leave behind future troubles. Therefore, he planned to remove the weeds by the roots. You want to kill me? Lu Yen was stunned as he could clearly feel the murderous aura emanating from Su Chen. Killing you is no different from crushing an ant. Su Chen's eyes were cold, and there was a hint of mockery at the corner of his mouth. Ha! Lu Yen was so angry that he laughed and mocked. You're just a mere level 8 cultivator. Do you think you can kill me? Junior Brother Su, you must calm down. Killing fellow disciples is a great taboo. Seeing that Su Chen was about to make a move, Chen Feng and the others hurriedly tried to persuade him. Lu Yen was a little confused. He didn't understand why Chen Feng and the others were saying this. Were they worried that Su Chen would kill him? I, Su Chen, have always been unscrupulous in my actions. Even if there's a sage here, he can forget about stopping me. Su Chen's murderous intent was ignited, and he couldn't hold it back anymore. Shameless boasting. Come and kill me if you can. Lu Ran was truly enraged, and he raised his voice to shout at Su Chen. As you wish. Su Chen moved his feet and disappeared on the spot like a ghost. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Lu Yen, and he swept his sword horizontally. Chapter 733. In an instant, a terrifying blue torrent of lightning surged towards Lu Yen and Chiao Ying. What a terrifying lightning sorcery! Lu Yan's eyelids twitched. When the blue torrent came close, a black bead suddenly appeared in his hand. Then, he gritted his teeth and shot it out with a pained expression. In the next moment, the blue torrent shot towards the black bead. When the two came into contact, a crack suddenly appeared in the void. The two of them were sucked into the crack and disappeared without a trace. Interesting. Su Chen snorted softly and waved the enchanted sword in his hand again. This time, he released a white torrent. The cold air quickly spread and the surroundings were suddenly covered in ice and snow. Lu Yen shuddered when he felt a bone-piercing chill. He shouted, "Stop, I admit defeat." The ice sorcery that Su Chen released was completely beyond the level of a level 9 sorcerer. With his ability, he would definitely not be able to withstand it. The black bead just now could be transferred into the void, but the black bead was a one-time use item and he only had one in his hand. Do you think this is a friendly duel? Su Chen smiled contemptuously and continued to control the ice sorcery to crush Lu Yen. Seeing that Su Chen was unmoved, Lu Yen had no choice but to bite the bullet and throw a punch forward. Unexpectedly, before he could throw a punch, a huge invisible force suddenly attacked him from all directions and firmly restrained him. No! Lu Yen let out a desperate cry and watched helplessly as the white torrent rolled towards him. In an instant he was frozen into an ice sculpture. Although he did not die, he had lost the ability to move and was now a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. As long as Su Chen continued to attack, he could easily kill him. Even Master is no match for him? Xiao Ying was dumbfounded and a deep sense of fear surged in her heart. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and threw a Pegasus meteor punch. If you don't remove the root of the problem, you will leave behind trouble in the future. At this moment he was determined to completely kill Lu Yen and Xiao Ying. Buzz. The void trembled violently. 100 dazzling golden fist shadows appeared in the air. Each fist shadow exuded an extremely sharp killing intent, giving people a feeling of fear and trepidation. Die! Su Chen sneered and smashed down with his fist. Instantly, all the golden fists descended from the sky like a small golden mountain, crashing down on Lu Yen and his companion. Just as the two of them were about to die on the spot, two figures suddenly shot towards them. Every single one of the figures exuded a terrifying aura. They were all level 10. It's the Sovereign and Elder Nan. Chen Feng's heart skipped a beat. As far as he was concerned, based on the current situation, only Xianxia Li and Nan Lichuan would be able to stop Su Chen. Gu Tianhua secretly shook his head. He was the only one who knew that Su Chen had defeated Nan Lichuan. If Su Chen insisted on killing Lu Yen, Xianxia Li and Nan Lichuan might not be able to stop him even if they worked together. Su Chen, spare his life. Xianxia Li shot forward and raised her hand to shoot out a colorful waterfall. With a gentle stir, it annihilated all of the golden fist shadows that were descending. Xiao Ying, who had luckily escaped with her life, calmed down a little and cried anxiously to Xianxia Li, "Sovereign, Su Chen wants to kill us indiscriminately. You must seek justice for us." "Shut up." Xianxia Li glared coldly at Xiao Ying and scolded her. Chapter 734. Under Xianxia Li's gaze, Xiao Ying trembled in fear and kept quiet out of fear. Su Chen is a member of the Sun Moon Star Palace after all. For my sake, let them off this time. Xianxia Li turned to look at Su Chen, pleading for Lu Yen and Nanli. Su Chen narrowed his eyes, a cold glint flashing in his eyes. He looked at Xianxia Li coldly and said, "As long as the sect master and senior Nan can suppress or defeat me, I can spare their lives. Otherwise, they won't be able to escape death." Su Chen wants to challenge the sect master and Elder Nan by himself? Chen Feng and Xia Jingyi were stunned. Both Xianxia Li and Nan Lichuan were strong in level 10. No matter how strong Su Chen was, he wouldn't be a match for level 10 opponents, right? Moreover, it was 1 against 2. Junior brothers Su wouldn't be crazy, right? Chen Feng and Xia Jingyi both had this thought in their minds. Xiao Ying was ecstatic. In her opinion, Su Chen was definitely not a match for Xianxia Li and Nan Lichuan. This way, she would be able to live. Moreover, once they started fighting, Su Chen would most likely be killed. Thinking of this, Xiao Ying was filled with anticipation. Xianxia Li and Nan Lichuan looked at each other, and their expressions became extremely solemn. If any other level 8 cultivator said this, they would definitely be seen as overestimating themselves and boasting shamelessly. However, it was different for Su Chen. He had easily defeated Nan Lichuan the last time they met. From this, one could see how strong he was. Even if the two of them joined forces, they weren't confident that they would be a match for Su Qin. However, Lu Yen was an elder of the Sun Moon Star Palace after all. How could they not save him? Just as the two of them were hesitating, Su Qin spoke again. Since the sect master and senior Nan aren't saying anything, I'll take it as a silent agreement. Then let's fight. He had to kill Lu Yen and Nan Lichuan. Even Shang Tsili and Nan Lichuan wouldn't be able to stop him. As soon as he finished speaking, he directly used the Atlas shape-shifting technique. When his figure rose to 100 feet, he raised his hand and threw out the primary 5 extremes mountain, not giving Shang and Tsili a chance to reply. When they saw this, Shang and Kai Li had no choice but to fight. Knowing that the integrated 5 extremes mountain was a sacred artifact, Shang Tsili didn't dare to be careless and quickly threw out a 7-colored branch in her hand. This branch seemed ordinary, but it wasn't. This was because it was the only saint artifact of the Sun Moon Star Palace, the rainbow glazed branch. The 7-colored glazed branch shot into the air and turned into a colorful waterfall. It spun around the integrated 5 extremes mountain and trapped it in place. At the same time, Nan Lichuan made his move as well. Having learned his lesson, he immediately used his strongest move, the spectral eye god ray. In an instant, a purple light that exuded destructive power shot towards Su Qin. Elder Nan is actually using his trump card to deal with Su Qin? Chen Feng and Xia Jingyi were stunned. The number 1 expert of the Sun Moon Star Palace didn't hold back at all when dealing with a level 8 cultivator. Wasn't this too exaggerated? Gu Tianhua was well aware of this. Nan Lichuan must be afraid of Su Qin. He was worried that if he didn't use his trump card, he would be crushed by Su Qin again. Facing the spectral eye god ray that was shooting towards him, Su Qin quickly opened the pet breeding space and summoned the bone chill nether fire. He then used the frost spell and attached the bone chill nether fire to it. Although the bone chill nether fire was a mystical fire, it exuded the ice attribute. When combined with the frost spell, the power produced was multiplied. In the next moment, after the two collided, the spectral eye god ray was easily frozen. Chapter 735. How is this possible? Nan Lichuan was so shocked that his jaw dropped. Even if he saw it with his own eyes, he couldn't believe that his strongest move couldn't even cause a ripple. How strong is junior brother Su? Chen Feng and Xia Jingyi were shocked. Nan Lichuan couldn't do anything to Su Qin even after using his trump card. Didn't that mean that he wasn't a match for Su Qin at all? Su Qin was strong to this extent? Just when Nan Lichuan was in a daze, Su Qin moved and disappeared from where he was standing. Senior brother, be careful. Shang Tsili reminded him loudly. She remembered Su Qin's speed and knew that Su Qin was definitely going to attack Nan Lichuan. She shouted and stood in front of Nan Lichuan without hesitation, trying to stop Su Qin. Just as Shang Tsili expected, Su Qin was indeed planning a sneak attack. But with Shang Tsili's interference, the sneak attack couldn't be done. However, he didn't care. He opened the pet breeding space and summoned all his spiritual pets. Then he pointed at Shang Tsili and ordered, "Trap her." Suddenly, all the spiritual pets, including Gulung and Netherflame, rushed forward and surrounded Shang Tsili. Although their levels weren't as high as Shang Tsili, each of them was much stronger than the same level. With their cooperation, they completely suppressed Shang Tsili. So many high-level spiritual pets. Seeing that Su Qin summoned 6 spiritual pets, all of which were above level 7, Nan Lichuan's teeth were chattering. Qiao Ying, who wasn't far away, suddenly felt uneasy when she saw this scene. Originally, she thought that Shang Tsili and Nan Lichuan could easily defeat Su Qin if they worked together. But the situation on the field wasn't like that at all. Instead, Shang Tsili and Nan Lichuan were at an absolute disadvantage. If this continued, wouldn't Su Qin win? Would she still be able to live? Thinking of this, Qiao Ying began to slowly retreat. She wanted to escape while no one was paying attention. Unexpectedly, just as she took 2 steps back, Su Qin's cold voice suddenly rang in her ears. "If you dare to move again, I'll kill you on the spot." Qiao Ying was so scared that her whole body trembled, and she no longer dared to act rashly. After stunning Qiao Ying, Su Chen looked at Nan Lichuan and smirked. "Senior, we didn't have enough fun the last time. Let's continue this time." Nan Lichuan's scalp went numb when he heard that. In the previous battle, he had been completely crushed by Su Chen. Needless to say, he had been so aggrieved that it had almost left a shadow in his heart. He didn't want to try it again. If it were any other place, he would have already surrendered or run away. But he couldn't do it here. There were so many people watching. He couldn't afford to lose face here. "Su Chen, give this old man some face." Nan Lichuan mumbled softly. Then, he forced himself to attack Su Chen. "Give this old man some face?" Su Chen rubbed his nose and swung his enchanted sword, without any hesitation. Soon, Nan Lichuan was at an absolute disadvantage under Su Chen's continuous attacks. Other than trying to defend himself, he didn't have any ability to fight back at all. In fact, he looked like he was in a mess. Junior brother Su is getting stronger. Chen Feng and Xia Jingyi looked at each other and clicked their tongues at the same time. They clearly remembered that when they first met Su Chen wasn't this powerful. But in just 1 month, Su Chen's abilities had improved tremendously. He could even defeat a level 10 cultivator now. The speed of his growth was so fast that it was shocking. Chapter 736. I'm not fighting with you anymore. Nan Lichuan was on the verge of breaking down after being suppressed by Su Chen. He was so depressed that he was about to vomit blood. He knew that he would only embarrass himself if he continued to fight like this. It wouldn't change the situation at all, so he decided not to fight with Su Chen anymore. After saying this, he turned around and left the place. "This old man still has some tricks up his sleeve," Su Chen muttered, but he didn't stop him. Nan Lichuan knew that he had to leave. Otherwise, he would have used his full strength and it would be hard to guarantee that he wouldn't be beaten to the ground. After Nan Lichuan disappeared from sight, Su Chen turned around and shot out a wind blade to kill Qiao Ying. Then he punched Lu Yen, who had been frozen into an ice sculpture, and shattered it into pieces. Xianxia looked at all of this, but she couldn't do anything about it. She could only sigh. "Everyone stop." Su Chen shouted at the spiritual pets. Lu Yen and Qiao Ying had been killed, so it was meaningless to continue fighting with Xianxia. At this moment, Xianxia came to Su Chen's side and looked at Su Chen in a daze. She said in a low voice, "Do you know why I stopped you from killing Lu Yen? It's because Lu Yan's identity is not ordinary." "Sect Master, please tell me," Su Chen said calmly. He had already killed them, so there was no such thing as regret in his dictionary. Moreover, Lu Yen and Qiao Ying had only themselves to blame for ending up like this. He didn't feel guilty at all. This had always been his way of doing things. Wanting him to change was no different from wishful thinking. Xianxia sighed. Lu Yen also has a backer. His daughter, Lu Kaifeng, married into the Ling family of the Manyu Shrine. Not only is the Ling family the #1 family in the Manyu Shrine, they also have a sage-level ancestor backing them. "A mere Ling family is nothing to be afraid of," Su Chen said nonchalantly. After the preliminaries, he would make a trip to the Manyu Shrine. If the Ling family didn't know what was good for them and dared to find trouble with him, he would uproot them. "Aren't you afraid that the Ling family's saint-level ancestor will attack you?" Xianxia asked worriedly. She had already seen Su Chen as the hope of the Sun-Moon Star Palace. She did not want anything to happen to Su Chen. A saint-level ancestor can't just casually enter the continent. What's there to be afraid of? Su Chen rubbed his nose, still looking calm. "With your strength, there's indeed nothing to worry about on the continent, but you'll have to enter the void sooner or later," Xianxia reminded. Hearing this, Su Chen narrowed his eyes and pondered. In the void, saint-level powerhouses would not be suppressed by the power of the boundary and could use their strength as they wished. They could indeed pose a fatal threat to him. Moreover, he had offended more than one saint. If they joined forces, it would be even more dangerous. However, thinking that there was still a year before he entered the void, he would not stay at level 8 forever. With a year's buffer, there would be no pressure to advance to level 10. At that time, by using the Atlas shapeshifting technique, his strength would at least reach the level of a false saint. Even if a second stage saint wanted to kill him, it would definitely not be that easy. Sect Master, don't worry. When I enter the void battleground, I will at least be level 10, Su Chen said solemnly. Xianxia was slightly startled. She suddenly thought that with Su Chen's cultivation talent, there was indeed a high possibility that he could advance to levels 10 within a year. With his strength that far exceeded those of the same level, he could indeed compete with a saint. Thinking of this, Xianxia breathed a sigh of relief. Chapter 737. Sect Master, if there's nothing else, why don't I teach you how to play Fight the Landlord? Su Chen suddenly suggested. He had a good impression of Xianxia and wanted to get closer to her through Fight the Landlord. Hearing this, Qin Feng and the others were stunned. Su Chen actually wanted to play Fight the Landlord with Xianxia? This joke was a little too much. If Xianxia really agreed, would they still be able to play happily? Fortunately, Xianxia still had a sense of propriety. As the leader of a sect, how could she mix with a group of disciples? You guys have fun. I still have something to deal with. Xianxia called out and left directly. After Xianxia left the valley, Su Chen disposed of Lu Yen and Li Lichuan's corpses and continued to play Fight the Landlord with everyone. Junior brother Su's heart is really big. Seeing this, Qin Feng secretly clicked his tongue. Su Chen had just killed someone, but it was as if he had done something insignificant. In this aspect, he was ashamed of his inferiority. 3 days passed in a flash, and it was the day of the Forgotten Autumn Mountain selection. Under the lead of Xianxia and Nan Lichuan, the participants of Sun Moon Star Palace went straight to Crepe Myrtle Mountain. Crepe Myrtle Mountain didn't belong to any faction. In the past, the selection would be held here. As a precaution, before they left, Su Chen let Wu Yang and the others enter the chaos space. Crepe Myrtle Mountain wasn't far from Sun Moon Star Palace. In about an hour, the people of Sun Moon Star Palace arrived at the foot of Crepe Myrtle Mountain. At the foot of the mountain, several other factions had already arrived and were gathered together to discuss something. There's still some time before the competition starts. You guys take a rest first. Xianxia instructed and walked towards the place where the other factions were gathered. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and glanced around. When his gaze landed on a huge arena, he said to Qin Feng, who was beside him, "Senior brother Qin, will we be fighting in this arena later?" Qin Feng replied and then explained, "Junior brother Su, we just need to knock the opponent out of the arena later." According to the rules of the Forgotten Autumn Mountain selection, as long as one could become one of the last 10 people to remain in the arena, they would be able to obtain a spot in the selection. Is it okay to kill them in the arena? Su Chen continued to ask. Hearing this, Qin Feng could not help but click his tongue. He knew that Su Chen had the intention to kill, so he hurriedly advised, "Junior brother Su, it's best not to kill, so as not to arouse public anger." Arouse public anger? Su Chen scoffed at this. Other than the Flowing Water sect and the Qilin sect, which of the 7 major powers of the Forgotten Autumn Mountain did not have a grudge with him? Even the Frost Ice Palace, which had joined forces with the Sun Moon Star Palace, had severely injured Li Zimo a few days ago. In other words, he had already incurred the wrath of the public. Since that was the case, there was no need to restrain himself. He would kill as he pleased. Especially the Ouyang aristocratic family and the Assassins' Alliance, he didn't plan to let any of them off. In addition, he also thought of another point. The Ouyang family and the Assassins' Alliance hadn't come to denounce him all this time. It was very likely that they wanted to take advantage of the selection to eliminate him. Su Chen felt that the possibility of this was very high. After all, people from the Ouyang family and the Assassins' Alliance had died in his hands. If they did not take revenge, they would definitely be ridiculed by the other factions. Thinking of this, Su Chen's lips curved into a strange arc. "Junior brother Su, I'll be relying on you for this selection." At this moment, Gong Gu walked up and greeted Su Chen. "Senior brother Gong is too polite," Su Chen said with a smile. He had a good impression of Gong Gu and would definitely give him a spot in the selection. Chapter 738. Junior brother Su, our Frost Palace will have to rely on you this time. Nie Xichen, Chen Feng, and the others exchanged a few words before walking to Su Chen's side to greet him. Su Chen nodded slightly and did not say anything. "Su Chen, let me introduce you. This is Flowing Water Sect's sect master Yuqi Jingyang, and this is Frost Palace's sect master Lu Qianqin." Xianxia had returned at some point, accompanied by an old man with an otherworldly temperament and an old woman in a Taoist robe with an indifferent expression. "Greetings, seniors." Su Chen politely greeted them. "I've long heard about you from the palace. Seeing you today, you're indeed impressive," Yuqi Jingyang replied enthusiastically. Lu Qianqin, on the other hand, remained silent. She only looked at Su Chen with a cold expression on her face. "Su Chen, you have to pay attention to two people in this selection. One is Qilin Sect's Xiao Ran, and the other is Assassin League's Yang Wenxuan," Xianxia reminded. Even though she knew Su Chen's strength was unparalleled, the selection was of great importance. She still felt that it was better to warn him. "Rest assured, Sectmaster. I won't be careless," Su Chen said with a smile. Before coming, he had already learned that the highest cultivation among those participating in the selection was only level 8. Level 8 cultivators were like ants in his eyes, so he did not take them to heart. "Have you discussed a countermeasure?" Xianxia sighed and continued to ask. Sun Moon Star Palace, Flowing Water Sect, and Frost Palace had formed an alliance, and the other side had also formed an alliance. Moreover, they had more people than their side. Once a fight broke out, Su Chen would not have a problem, but the others would be easily knocked off the stage. "We've already discussed it. Senior brother Gu and the others will gather together to defend, and I will attack them alone." Su Chen explained simply. Gu Tianhua and the others were not weak. If they joined forces to defend, it would be difficult for anyone to knock them off the stage. As long as they held on, Su Chen would have no worries and could defeat them one by one. "This is a good idea." Xianxia nodded with satisfaction. Once Su Chen launched an attack, even someone as powerful as Nan Lichuan wouldn't be able to fight back. He could easily defeat level 7 and level 8 cultivators in an instant. "Try not to kill as much as possible," Xianxia exhorted in a low voice before turning around to chat with Yuqi Jingyang. Half an hour later, the selection officially began. Su Chen, Gu Tianhua, Leng Mai, Chen Feng, Xia Jingyi, Lin Huayin, Gonggu, and Nie Xichen all stepped onto the stage. The Beast Lodge, the Assassin's Alliance, and the Ouyang family also sent out 12 people and gathered together. Su Chen noticed that other than the two of them, there was another lone figure in the field. As a result, a tripartite balance of power was formed. "Senior brother Gu, who is this guy alone?" Su Chen asked curiously. "He is the Qilin Sect's Xiao Ran," Gu Tianhua said solemnly. "This guy is pretty good at pretending, huh?" Su Chen rubbed his nose and mumbled. There were so many experts on the stage, but Xiao Ran dared to face them alone. It was clear that he had absolute confidence in his own strength. However, Su Chen had already planned to take all 10 spots. If Xiao Ran wanted to get a spot without paying a price, it would be impossible. After the three sides faced each other for a while, Xiao Ran suddenly turned to Su Chen's side and said loudly, "Which one of you is Su Chen?" "I am." Su Chen rubbed his nose and took a step forward. Chapter 739. Xiao Ran sized up Su Chen and said in a low voice, "I heard that Ouyang Buhui and Tang Jiaolin died at your hands?" Su Chen didn't know why Xiao Ran would ask such a question, but he still said calmly, "You're missing two. There's someone called Nzaheo from the Assassin's Alliance, and Ouyang Chengfeng from the Ouyang family. These two trash died in my hands." The reason why he said this was to attract hatred. When the Ouyang family and the Assassin League attacked him with all their might, he could take the opportunity to kill them. As expected, Su Chen's words immediately stirred up the emotions of the Ouyang family and the Assassin League, and they all cursed and scolded him. Chen Feng and the rest shook their heads secretly. They really couldn't do anything to Su Chen. In that case, you should be the strongest person here? Xiao Ran muttered. Then, his eyes lit up as he stared at Su Chen. He said coldly, Su Chen, I want to challenge you one-on-one. Do you dare to accept? One-on-one? Su Chen was instantly interested. He laughed and said, You don't have the right to do so. Then, he turned to look at the people from the Assassin League and continued, If you add Yang Wenxuan from the Assassin League, you might be able to take a move or two from me. When he said this, the surroundings were silent for a moment. Those who did not know Su Chen's specific strength were somewhat dumbfounded. Su Chen's arrogance was simply outrageous. Both Xiao Ran and Yang Wenxuan were strong enough to defeat a level 9 cultivator. They were definitely not people like Tang Jiaolin could compare to. Su Chen killed Tang Jiaolin and a few others, and he could boast shamelessly and vainly challenge Xiao Ran and Yang Wenxuan? What a joke! Yuqi Jingyang's expression froze. When he came back to his senses, he whispered to Shang Caili, Sect leader Shang, isn't Su Chen a little too arrogant? He knew from Gongge that Su Chen could kill a level 9 mutated blood plant and had a divine weapon in hand. His strength was definitely not to be underestimated. However, Xiao Ran and Yang Wenxuan were also masters who could kill enemies above their level. Furthermore, as the absolute core of their respective sects, it was very likely that they also had divine weapons. In this way, the possibility of Su Chen winning against two experts was very slim. Yuqi Jingyang couldn't help but start to worry about the quota for the preliminaries. Sect leader Yuqi, don't worry. Shang Caili chuckled and then vowed solemnly, Xiao Ran and Yang Wenxuan are like ants in Su Chen's eyes. They can be destroyed with one hand. These words were not boastful at all, but he had absolute confidence in Su Chen. After all, Shi and Nan Lichuan weren't Su Chen's match, let alone Xiao Ran and Yang Wenxuan. This, Yuqi Jingyang gulped and stared at Shang Caili in a daze, unable to speak for a long time. In his impression, Shang Caili was a very low-key person. Why was she so arrogant today? Could it be that Su Chen's strength was so strong that Shang Caili was completely at ease? In the arena, Xiao Ran and Yang Wenxuan's expressions became unusually ugly. As the absolute prodigies of the younger generation of Forgotten Autumn Mountain, when had they ever been humiliated like this? Su Chen's arrogance and conceit already thoroughly ignited the two people's killing intent. I alone am enough to deal with you. Xiao Ran's face was gloomy. He gritted his teeth and sneered. I hope you won't regret saying this when you die in my hands. Stop showing off. Hurry up. Su Chen curled his lips and walked slowly toward Xiao Ran with a look of contempt. Chapter 740. You're courting death. Xiao Ran could no longer hold back the anger in his heart. He stomped his foot and charged toward Su Chen. Su Chen did not hold back. He raised his hand and performed the Pegasus Meteor Punch. Buzz buzz. Suddenly, the air was covered by golden fist shadows. Shrill fist winds mixed together, causing the entire void to emit a trembling sound. Xiao Ran's pupils shrank when he saw this. As the fist shadows smashed down, his body flickered as if it was an illusion. Bang bang, when all the fist shadows landed, the ring was densely packed with holes and cracks. However, Xiao Ran stood on the spot and was unharmed. Su Chen, if that's all you've got, you can go and die. Xiao Ran laughed wildly. Then, he shook his arms and a purple light wave rippled out from his body. Then, it flowed into his arms. Immediately after, Xiao Ran's arms became incomparably thick and purple scales appeared on them. Junior brother Su, be careful. Xiao Ran is using the famous Qilin arm of the Qilin sect. Once it's used, your defense and strength will increase by several times. Chen Feng's face froze as he reminded Su Chen loudly. Qilin arm. Su Chen muttered. Qilin arm sounded similar to his golden scales on the arm, but in terms of effect, it was a grade higher than the golden scales on the arm. Dong dong dong. At this moment, Xiao Ran strode over. When he was close to Su Chen, he waved his thick purple arm and smashed it towards Su Chen. Looking at Xiao Ran's ferocious face, Su Chen's eyes gradually narrowed and he instantly released his mental strength. You want to stop me with your mental strength? Xiao Ran sneered. A purple light flashed on his arm and destroyed the mental strength that was attached to it. Then he smashed it towards Su Chen with great force. You've got some strength. Su Chen curled his lips. When Xiao Ran's purple arm came crashing down, a faint golden light appeared on his palm and he grabbed it. Bang! When the two collided, there was a dull sound of collision. Why is your strength so great? Xiao Ran suddenly cried out in surprise. At this moment, his arm was firmly grasped by Su Chen, and he couldn't move at all. This made him feel incomparably shocked and incredulous. Using the Qilin arm would increase his strength by several folds. Even a level 10 evolver might not necessarily be stronger than him. On the other hand, Su Chen, who was only level 8, could easily block the attack. He even felt that Su Chen hadn't used any strength. If he already possessed such strength without exerting any strength, then how great would his strength be if he went all out? While Xiao Ran was still in a daze, Su Chen's lips curled into a strange arc. Then he suddenly exerted force and clenched his fist. Crack! A crisp sound of bones breaking resounded in the arena. Ah! What followed was Xiao Ran's painful screams. What happened? The onlookers were inexplicably surprised and looked at Xiao Ran. When they saw Xiao Ran's thick arm being broken by Su Chen, they were stunned. Su Chen is so powerful? He can even break the Qilin arm? Yuqi Jingyang swallowed his saliva, and his expression became extremely complicated. If he asked himself honestly, if he were to fight with Xiao Ran, defeating him wouldn't be a problem. However, he definitely couldn't break the arm like Su Chen. Sect Master Yuqi, there's no need to make a fuss. This is Su Chen's routine. Xianxia chuckled. Routine? Yuqi Jingyang's expression froze. Routine meant that Su Chen hadn't used his true strength and was already so strong without exerting any strength. Once he used his trump card, how powerful would he be? Chapter 741. Bang! There was a loud explosion. Xiao Ran was smashed to the ground by Su Chen's punch. You want to kill me? Do you have the ability? Su Chen stepped on Xiao Ran's face and mocked. Xiao Ran had said that he wanted to kill him, so he didn't plan to let Xiao Ran live. However, before he killed him, he wanted to humiliate him to his heart's content. He wanted to warn the others that this was the outcome of going against Su Chen. Woo-woo. Xiao Ran's eyes were burning with anger as he struggled desperately, trying to break free from Su Chen's foot. However, Su Chen's strength was incomparably great. He was like a towering mountain, pressing down on him until he couldn't move. Xianxia, when it's possible to make mistakes, one should be lenient. Quickly ask your disciple to stop. Below the ring, an old man with a white beard couldn't stand it anymore and growled at Xianxia. This person was called Lei Chengtian, the current sect leader of the Qilin sect. Seeing his proud disciple being wantonly humiliated in front of everyone, he was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. If it weren't for the rules, he would have rushed up to the ring to teach Su Chen a lesson. Fighting in the ring depends on one's ability. Moreover, it was your disciple who provoked Su Chen. You only have yourself to blame for ending up like this. You still have the nerve to be so arrogant? If you don't have the ability, don't go up to the ring and make a fool of yourself. Xianxia sneered without holding back. The Qilin sect was originally a neutral sect, but they were the first to jump out to pick a fight. This made her angry. Seeing Su Chen humiliating the other party made her feel especially comfortable. Why would she stop Su Chen? Moreover, with Su Chen's temper, she couldn't stop him even if she wanted to. You? Lei Chengtian's face turned red and white as his veins popped out. However, he couldn't find a reason to refute, so he could only swallow his anger. In the ring, when Su Chen was still mocking Xiao Ran, a scorching fireball suddenly shot towards him. Level 9 Fireball Technique. Su Chen raised his eyebrows. Based on the fireball's mana fluctuations, He determined that the fireball had reached level 9. If it were anyone else, the first thing they would think of would be to dodge. However, Su Chen scoffed. When the fireball flew over, a golden light appeared on his palm, and he grabbed at the fireball. Witnessing this scene, everyone was astonished. The power of a level 9 fireball was no joke. Even a level 10 evolver would not dare to take it head-on. Su Chen was only level 8. If he dared to grab it with his bare hands, wouldn't he be courting death? "I'll blow you up, you bastard." Lei Qingtian grumbled in his heart. However, what happened next left everyone dumbfounded. Su Chen caught the fireball with ease. Then he exerted force and crushed the fireball in his hand. Just how strong is Su Chen's body? Seeing that Su Chen was unharmed, Yuqi Jingyang took a deep breath. His eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Shang Tsili's expression changed. Although she had fought with Su Chen before, she didn't know that Su Chen had such a strong defense. This kid is ridiculously strong. Nan Lichuan couldn't help but click his tongue. After Su Chen crushed the fireball, he flicked his finger to get rid of the ashes on it. Then, he turned around and looked at the place where the 3 families of the Assassin Union were gathered. After a quick glance, his eyes finally landed on a lady in yellow. His voice was as cold as ice. "Are you coming to accept your death, or are you waiting for me to kill you?" The lady in yellow was the one who attacked him with the fireball. Of course, he wouldn't forgive someone like her. Chapter 742. The lady in yellow trembled violently. At this moment, she had an illusion that Su Chen's gaze was like a sharp blade that pierced her heart, making it difficult for her to breathe. "Everyone, let's attack together. We can definitely kill him." Yang Wenxuan forced himself to focus and roared. When he saw that everyone was shocked by Su Chen's strength, he knew that he couldn't wait any longer. As soon as he roared, he was the first to charge towards Su Chen. "Kill!" The rest of the people looked at each other and followed Yang Wenxuan's lead, attacking Su Chen at the same time. "Senior Brother Gu, should we join in?" Chen Feng asked. Since there were so many of them, he was worried that Su Chen wouldn't be able to handle them. Gu Tunhua hesitated for a moment, then gritted his teeth and said, "No need." Su Chen had already instructed them to defend themselves and not to join in the fight. He had a deep understanding of Su Chen's strength. Since Su Chen had said so, he would just listen to Su Chen and avoid causing trouble for Su Chen. "You're overestimating yourself." Su Chen narrowed his eyes and snorted coldly. When Yang Wenxuan and the rest rushed over, he first stepped on Xiao Ran's head, then swung the enchanted divine blade in his hand. "Xiao Ran!" Lei Zhentian roared in anger as he watched Xiao Ran die in front of him. Then, the flames of hatred ignited on his body. He moved his feet and charged towards the arena. However, before he could take a few steps, a figure suddenly appeared in front of him. "Lei Zhentian, if you dare to step onto the arena, I will kill you today." Nan Lichuan stared coldly at Lei Zhentian, with a murderous aura surrounding him. "Who?" Lei Zhentian's lips trembled. However, due to Nan Lichuan's strength, even if the anger in his heart had reached its peak, he didn't dare to make a move. He knew very well that Nan Lichuan had the ability to kill him. On the battle ring, Su Chen swept out with his saber. The entire battle ring felt like it had fallen into a glacier. A terrifying chill swept forward. Except for Yang Wenxuan, everyone else was frozen into ice sculptures. What a terrifying ice spell! Yuqi Jingyang took a deep breath, his heart trembling slightly. Although Su Chen was only at level 8, the spells he cast were beyond level 9. Even though he was at level 10, he still felt his heart palpitate. "Help me." Yang Wenxuan held a silver longsword in his hand. With a slash of his sword, he dispersed the cold air around him. Suddenly, he roared in the direction of Qin Feng and the others. Then he leaped into the air. His body suddenly emitted a dazzling white light, and his figure began to fade away, as if he had become one with the long sword in his hand. At the same time, a violent sword essence and murderous aura spread out. Body and sword as one. Seeing this, Su Chen's eyebrows twitched. When he was at Qinyu Island, Mo Qin Kong of the Qilin Mountain had used this move. Therefore, he recognized it at first glance. However, compared to Mo Qin Kong, Yang Wenxuan's body and sword as one was dozens of times more powerful. Apart from the difference in cultivation, the most important thing was the silver longsword in Yang Wenxuan's hand. The silver longsword emitted a strong murderous aura, which gave him a very strong sense of danger. Could it be a sacred item? Su Chen had this thought in his mind. He quickly took out the integrated 5 Extremes mountain from his storage bag. Just as he was about to throw it out, Nie Xiqian suddenly rushed out from the group, shouting, "Junior brother Su, let me help you." Chapter 743. Su Chen faintly felt that something was amiss. It was too strange for Nie Xiqian to come out to help at this time. Just as he was puzzled, he saw Nie Xiqian throw out a black bead the size of an egg. When the black bead flew close, it suddenly exploded, and an eyeball the size of a basketball emerged. It also exuded a strange evil aura, which made people feel a chill all over their body when they saw it. The eyeball turned slightly, and a ray of light shot out from it, directly towards Su Chen. "It's targeting me." Su Chen was slightly stunned, and then a murderous aura spread out from his body. At this moment, he had already understood that Nie Xiqian was not here to help him at all, but to harm him. The ray of light that shot out from the strange eyeball contained a strong evil aura, which was similar to the evil aura released by the evil fruit tree and the abyss black poria, and had the effect of confusing the mind. Once touched by the evil aura, it was very likely that one would fall into a temporary daze. In this way, one would become a fish on a chopping board and be at the mercy of others. It could be said that Nie Xiqian's attack was enough to see her evil intentions. If it were another person, they would definitely be killed. However, Su Chen's ancient god-fiend body happened to be able to restrain all evil things in the world. Therefore, Nie Xiqian wanted to use such a sinister method to deal with him, which was obviously a miscalculation. At the same time, Shang Tsili's angry roar sounded from below the ring. "Lu Qianqin, the Ice Palace actually betrayed us. You even used the Demon's Eye to deal with Su Chen. You are courting death." When Chen Feng and the others heard about the Demon's Eye, their faces were extremely ugly. It was rumored that the Demon's Eye was refined from the eyeball of the Blazing Tao. The Blazing Tao Eye was an ancient beast, and its strongest attack was the evil light released from its eyeball, which had the effect of confusing the mind. The Demon's Eye refined from its eyeball had reached the level of a sacred weapon. Anyone who was targeted by the evil light, except for the sage level, could not escape the fate of being confused. Su Chen was only level 8. It was impossible for him to break free from the evil light. Chen Feng and the others were burning with anxiety as they rushed towards Su Chen, trying to help Su Chen resolve the predicament before him. "Can you make it in time?" Nie Xiqian mocked with a sinister expression on her face. At this moment, Su Chen was already enveloped by the evil light. Moreover, he seemed to have fallen into a daze. Even if Chen Feng and the others wanted to save him, it was clearly too late. Die! It was also at this moment that Yang Wenxuan unleashed man and sword as one and charged towards Su Chen. Just as it was about to tear Su Chen apart, a 5-colored stream of light suddenly flashed in front of Su Chen. Under the 5-colored stream of light, a 10-zhang tall golden hill appeared in front of him. Clang. In the next moment, Yang Wenxuan held his sword and clashed with the primary 5 Extremes mountain, and the sound of metal clashing resounded. Under the huge impact, the primary 5 Extremes mountain trembled slightly, and the 5-colored stream of light on its surface rippled violently. It seemed to be heavily injured. However, it had firmly blocked Yang Wenxuan's fatal attack. "Why aren't you affected?" After the attack, Yang Wenxuan revealed his true form and looked at the primary 5 Extremes mountain in front of him in shock. "Those who wanted to kill me have all died in my hands. You are no exception." While Yang Wenxuan was in a daze, he suddenly heard a cold laugh. Chapter 744. Not good. Yang Wenxuan quickly retreated when he realized the danger. However, before he could take a few steps back, an invisible force crushed him from all directions. He immediately sank into the mud, and all of his movements became extremely sluggish. Level 10 mental power. How is this possible? Yang Wenxuan's expression changed drastically when he realized that the mental power binding him had reached level 10. What he saw was a giant that was about 30 meters tall, lifting his foot and stomping down on his head. This giant was none other than Su Chen, who had used the Atlas shape-shifting technique. No! Seeing Su Chen's foot descending from the sky, Yang Wenxuan let out a desperate roar. Bang! Accompanied by an ear-piercing explosion, Yang Wenxuan was stomped into the ring and turned into a pile of meat paste. He couldn't be more dead. This sudden, unforeseen event made everyone endlessly stunned. At this moment, not only were they shocked by Su Chen's powerful strength, but they were also very puzzled. Su Chen was clearly shrouded in the evil light, so why was he not affected at all? After Su Chen killed Yang Wenxuan, he turned around and stared at Xianxia. His eyes were filled with bone-chilling coldness. Junior brother Su, give me one more chance. Spare my life. Under Su Chen's gaze, Xianxia trembled and her breathing almost stopped. Bitch! Su Chen snorted coldly. His feet shone with a dazzling purple light. Then he flew toward Xianxia at an astonishing speed and punched out. Xianxia was completely shocked by Su Chen's aura. She was scared silly and stood there in a daze. She didn't even have the courage to resist. Lu Qianqin, who was below the ring, didn't want to watch Xianxia be killed. She leaped up and flew toward the ring. However, Xianxia had already noticed her every move. Before she could even get close to the ring, she was blasted away by Xianxia's colorful light. Xianxia, if you try to stop me again, I swear to destroy your Sun-Moon Star Palace. Lu Qianqin roared furiously. After he finished speaking, he coughed violently and spat out a mouthful of blood. It was very obvious that he had suffered a heavy injury from Xianxia's attack. You! Xianxia's eyes were cold as she smiled contemptuously. Bang! But at this moment, an explosive sound suddenly rang out in the ring. It was Su Chen who had exploded Xianxia with a single punch. Ah! Lu Qianqin roared sorrowfully when she saw this scene, and her figure swayed and almost fell to the ground. After killing Xianxia, Su Chen turned around and looked at the frozen people. Just as he was about to kill them all, a sudden change occurred. The entire arena suddenly lit up with a bright light. At the same time, a huge energy fluctuation filled the surrounding space. Teleportation array? Su Chen's eyelids twitched. After experiencing several teleportations, he immediately sensed that the change in the arena was a sign that the teleportation array was being activated. At this moment, it was obviously impossible to rush out of the arena. Not knowing where he would be teleported to, Su Chen quickly opened the chaos space. Just as he took Chen Feng and the others into it, he felt the world spinning. Then, his entire body turned illusory and disappeared from the arena. What the hell did you do? Seeing that Su Chen had been teleported away, Xianxia angrily looked at Lu Qianqin and the others. Ha! At this time, an old man with a red beard came forward and laughed wildly. Then, he said gloomily, he has been teleported to the abandoned land. Hearing the name of the abandoned land, Xianxia and the others suddenly turned pale. Chapter 745. When Su Chen's vision gradually cleared up, he realized that he was in a desolate desert. This place gave off a decadent and lifeless feeling. Su Chen squinted his eyes and slowly scanned his surroundings. Soon he saw some broken weapons and armors not far away. There were also a few skeletons. Not only were there human skeletons, but there were also mutated beasts and mutated humans. Just as Su Chen was about to go over to take a look, he heard a rustling sound coming from beneath his feet. Su Chen's expression froze. Just as he was about to release his mental strength to check, a loud bang rang out. The ground beneath his feet was torn apart. The soil under his feet was sent flying. Then, two huge pincers rushed out and cut at his legs. A level 7 insect beast? Su Chen snorted softly. Judging from its aura, it was a level 7 insect beast that had ambushed him. A level 7 insect beast would definitely not be able to hurt him. Hence, he stood there and did not even bother to move. In the next moment, the two gigantic black pincers clamped onto Su Chen's legs and broke them. Woo woo, the level 7 insect beast cried out in pain. It seemed to know that Su Chen was not someone to be trifled with. Hence, it turned around and burrowed into the soil. How could Su Chen let it escape? He released his mental power and easily pulled it out of the congealed earth. Senior, I was wrong. Please spare my life. What appeared in front of Su Chen was a gigantic black scorpion. It was lifted into the air and begged loudly for mercy from Su Chen. Su Chen glanced at it and asked coldly, "Where is this place?" After being teleported to an unfamiliar place, the first thing to do was to determine the name of the place. The gigantic scorpion in front of him was already a level 7 insect. It had spiritual intelligence and the ability to speak human language. It should know something. Senior, this is the Fallen Desert, the level 7 scorpion said in a trembling voice. The Fallen Desert? Su Chen mumbled. He tried to recall the landform map of the mysterious heavenly mainland. However, he did not find any information about the Fallen Desert. This meant that the Fallen Desert did not belong to the mysterious heavenly mainland. How big is this place? Apart from you, are there any other living beings? Su Chen pondered for a moment before asking. The Fallen Desert covers an area of hundreds of thousands of miles. There are hundreds of races living outside, the level 7 scorpion replied honestly. Hundreds of races? Su Chen was shocked. How could hundreds of races live together in peace? Are there any humans? Su Chen asked. Yes, and quite a lot of them, the level 7 scorpion replied affirmatively. If there are humans, I can try to get in touch with them. Su Chen muttered, then asked, "Do you know what the outside world is called?" Since there were hundreds of races living in this place, it meant that the area was very large. It was very likely that it belonged to a certain realm. I don't know. The level 7 scorpion shook its head as if it was afraid that Su Chen would be angry. It explained, "Senior, I've been living in the Fallen Desert since I was born. I've never gone out, so I don't know what's out there." Su Chen nodded slightly. He pointed at the skeletons not far away and asked, "Did you kill them?" "No, I didn't. Those skeletons were here when I was born. Moreover, there are many skeletons like these in other places in the Fallen Desert," the level 7 scorpion explained hurriedly. Since he did not know what was going on, Su Chen did not think too much about it. He changed the topic and asked, "Are there any level 8 insect beasts in the Fallen Desert?" "Senior, I'm the insect king here. I'm also the highest level insect beast here," the level 7 scorpion replied. Su Chen shook his head. He was a little disappointed. Initially, he wanted to kill some high-level insect beasts to get some fragments. However, this idea was shattered. Chapter 746. Since he had asked all the questions he needed, there was no point in keeping the level 7 scorpion. Su Chen threw out a punch without warning and killed it cleanly. After collecting the fragments, he took out the intelligent war chariot. Then he opened the chaos space and summoned all the people inside. "Junior brother Su, what is this place?" Chen Feng looked around blankly as he asked doubtfully. When they were at Crepe Myrtle Mountain, they were all kept in the chaos space by Su Chen. They did not know what happened after that and did not know that they had been teleported. "This is the Fallen Desert." Su Chen sighed and gave a brief account of what happened when he came here. Hearing this, the expressions of Chen Feng and the others became abnormally ugly. The change in Crepe Myrtle Mountain was most likely the doing of the other major forces. Other than targeting Su Chen, they also wanted to suppress the Sun Moon Star Palace. How were Xianxia and the others now? Were their lives in danger? Su Chen comforted them, "Don't worry. With the sect leader and Senior Nan's strength, they won't be in danger even if they are besieged. The most important thing for us now is to find a way out and return to the mysterious heavenly continent as soon as possible. Xianxia and Nan Lichuan were top-notch level 10 powerhouses. Very few people of the same level were their opponents. Everyone in the Sun Moon Star Palace knew this and heaved a sigh of relief. Junior brother Su is right. The most important thing is to find a way back. Gu Tianhuan nodded in agreement. Seeing that everyone had calmed down, Su Chen turned to Wu Yazi and asked, "Senior, have you heard of the Fallen Desert?" Wu Yazi was a saint-level powerhouse and had lived for many years. He must have seen a lot. Su Chen thought that Wu Yazi would know something about it. Unexpectedly, Wu Yazi shook his head and sighed, "I've never heard of it." Su Chen did not give up. Then, he opened the planting space and the pet rearing space to ask the longevity fruit tree and the other spiritual pets. The answer he got was that they were not sure. Su Chen pondered for a while and communicated with the intelligent war chariot. "Satoshi, can you use the ability to travel between realms to leave this place?" "Master, the realms barrier here is very strong. I can only go out when I reach level 8, the intelligent war chariot replied honestly. Hearing this, Su Chen was not disappointed. Instead, his eyes lit up. To upgrade the intelligent war chariot to reach level 8 to Xianxia. Xianxia had given him 13 a few days ago. Now, he only needed to find 7 more level 8 energy stones to leave this place. Previously, he had learned from the level 7 scorpion that there were hundreds of races living outside the fallen wasteland. Most of them were level 8 mutated beasts. As long as he killed 7 beasts of them, wouldn't it too? Thinking of this, Su Chen hurriedly asked everyone to get into the chariot. "Satoshi, go full speed in one direction," Su Chen ordered immediately. The intelligent war chariot had been upgraded several times. Now, its detection range had reached 1,000 kilometers. However, it was impossible to cover the entire fallen desert. Without knowing the specific location, they could only try their luck in one direction if they wanted to leave this place. "I shouldn't have killed that level 7 scorpion." Su Chen sighed. The level 7 scorpion had been living in the fallen desert and must be familiar with the environment. With it leading the way, they could save a lot of time. Unfortunately, he did not think of this at that time. Chapter 747. The intelligent war chariot received the order and sped in one direction. Along the way, Su Chen kept staring at the control screen. Originally, he wanted to find a high-level scorpion and capture it to lead the way. Unfortunately, there were many scorpions below level 3, but he did not see any above level 3. If their level was too low, it would be useless to capture them. Su Chen simply gave up. Behind them, the intelligent war chariot sped along. 5 days later, they finally arrived at the edge of the fallen wasteland. There was a sparse forest outside. Although it still looked a little desolate, it was much livelier than the fallen wasteland. When they arrived here, everyone let out a long sigh of relief. "Satoshi, search and see if there are any traces of the mutated race or humans." Su Chen ordered. The intelligent war chariot quickly replied, "Master, we found a mutated race 20 miles ahead." Su Chen's eyes lit up. "Satoshi, lock onto it and zoom in on the image." The image on the control screen changed and the figure of a half-beastman appeared. At this moment, this half-beastman was squatting on the ground and digging up grass roots. Every time he dug out a piece, he would put it in his mouth and chew on it. How many days has this guy not eaten? Has he gone crazy from hunger? Seeing this scene, everyone was very confused. "Satoshi, is he a normal person or a cultivator?" Su Chen asked casually. "Master, he is a level 9 evolver." The intelligent war chariot replied. "Level 9 evolver?" Everyone in the chariot was dumbfounded. No matter where a level 9 evolver was placed, he would be a powerful person. How could he be reduced to eating grass roots? Wasn't this too unbelievable? "Satoshi, are you sure?" Su Chen took a breath and probed. At first, he saw the half-beastman digging up grass roots and thought that he was a normal person. Who would have thought that he was a level 9 evolver? Master, he is a level 9 evolver. There is no doubt about it. The intelligent war chariot replied with certainty. Suchin did not think too much and directly ordered, Satoshi, go and take a look. The intelligent war chariot increased its speed and flew over. With the speed of the intelligent war chariot, it would only take a few minutes to cover the distance of 20 miles. When the orc discovered that a MCV had appeared in front of him, he was taken aback for a moment, then his eyes burst into a blazing light. Sweet. The intelligent chariot stopped on a flat ground. Suchin opened the door and walked out slowly. It's actually a human. The half-beast race man sized up Suchin and smiled grimly. Human, did you just arrive here? Yes. Suchin replied faintly. Great. The beast man suddenly became excited. He clenched his fists and said coldly, hand over everything in your car and I can spare your life. It's impossible to hand it over to you. Come and take it if you have the ability. Suchin curled his lips and provoked. Since you don't know what's good for you, then I'll kill you first. The orc's face changed ferociously. He roared and rushed straight toward Suchin. When he was less than 3 meters away from Suchin, he clenched his fist and punched out. It looked like he wanted to kill Suchin with one punch. Suchin's figure was like a mountain, and his expression was calm. When the fist came flying toward him, he suddenly released his spiritual power. The orc suddenly felt like he was trapped in a swamp, and the punch also stopped in midair. Suchin seized the opportunity to grab the half-orc's arm, running the heaven-reaching 100-fold vigorous strength technique, and gently twisted it. The orc's arm was broken into two. Chapter 748. This beastman was also ruthless enough. He endured the pain and rammed his head into Suchin's face. Suchin snorted and punched out, causing half of the half-beast's face to collapse. If not for the fact that he wanted to interrogate him, this punch would have directly smashed his head. This time, the half-beast couldn't withstand it and fell to the ground with a scream. Suchin released an ice-type spell and froze the half-beast's body. Then, he said coldly, answer whatever I ask. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead. Senior, don't kill me. I'll tell you everything. The half-beast was terrified and quickly replied. Where is this place? Suchin stared at the half-beast and asked. This is the Forsaken Land, the half-beast answered honestly. When they heard the words abandoned land, the others didn't have much of a reaction. Only Wu Yazi's expression changed. Suchin, I've heard rumors about the abandoned land. Wu Yazi pondered for a moment and said with a serious expression. Suchin and the others looked at Wu Yazi and waited for him to continue. Rumors say that the abandoned land is an independent space in the universe. Frankly speaking, it's just a realm. Here, cultivation resources and food are extremely scarce. Once you enter this place, it's equivalent to entering an inescapable predicament. Unless you die, there's absolutely no way to escape, Wu Yazi said slowly. Suchin finally understood. No wonder the level 9 half-beast had to eat grass. It was because of the extreme scarcity of food. However, whether this was the case or not, he still needed to confirm. Is this the case in the abandoned land? Suchin stared at the half-beast and asked coldly. Yes. The half-beast replied with certainty. Suchin nodded slightly and continued asking, how many people are there in the abandoned land? What's their cultivation level? I'm not sure exactly how many people there are, but there should be a few thousand of them. Basically, they're all cultivators above level 9, the half-beast replied. Thousands of cultivators above level 9? Suchin sucked in a breath of cold air. Everyone else's expressions changed as well. No matter which race, a level 9 cultivator would be considered a top-notch expert. Even the 5 super races combined would not have a few thousand of them. How could there be so many experts gathered in a place like the Fallen Land? How did they get here? Suchin pondered for a moment and asked coldly, is what you said true? A few thousand level 9 and above practitioners was too shocking, and it made him suspicious of the half-beastman's words. Senior, I'm not lying at all. The The half-beastman guaranteed. Su Chen rubbed his nose and asked in a low voice, "Then how did you all get in here?" "A small number of them were sent here by accident. Most of them came here willingly," the half-beast replied. "Enter willingly?" Hearing this answer, Su Chen and the others were dumbfounded. Who the hell would be stupid enough to take the initiative to enter a place where cultivation resources and food were scarce? Could there be more to it? Thinking of this, Su Chen asked in a low voice, "Why did you take the initiative to enter here? Explain clearly." The half-beast did not dare to hide anything and said truthfully, "Living in the abandoned land, your lifespan is unlimited. As long as you're not killed, you can continue to live. Those who come here willingly are those who are nearing the end of their lifespan. They made this choice in order to survive." Chapter 749. I see. Su Chen was enlightened. Some cultivators would even turn themselves into zombies in order to survive when they were nearing the end of their lifespan. If they didn't even care about becoming zombies, it was understandable that they would enter the abandoned land. Are there any high-level mutated beasts in the abandoned land? Su Chen asked the most important question. "Senior, what level of mutated beast are you referring to?" The half-beast tribesman probed. "Level 8 and above," Su Chen said. "The highest level mutated beast in the abandoned land is only level 3. There are no level 8 and above," the half-orc answered with certainty. "Not even one?" Su Chen's expression turned serious. Without level 8 mutated beasts, they wouldn't be able to obtain level 8 energy stones and leave this place. This was something he didn't want to see. However, if there were level 7 insect beasts here, why weren't there any high-level mutated beasts? Su Chen continued to ask, "Are there no high-level mutated beasts here?" There used to be many, but as more and more people entered the abandoned land, the food became scarce. Those mutated beasts were hunted for food, the half-orc explained. Su Chen's eyes lit up when he heard this. After the mutated beasts were hunted, there would definitely be energy stones. There might even be level 8 energy stones. Are there any level 8 energy stones in the abandoned land? Su Chen continued to ask. Yes, but there are very few of them. They are all in the hands of 3 powerful individuals, the half-orc answered quickly. Powerful individuals? What level were they? Su Chen suddenly realized a very serious problem. After all, this place was different from other continents. There wouldn't be any saint-level individuals, right? With his current strength, he could at most contend with a pseudo-saint-level individual. He definitely couldn't defeat a saint-level individual. If the level 8 energy stones were in the hands of a saint-level individual, he would be in big trouble. Thinking of this, Su Chen asked anxiously, "What level are the so-called powerful individuals you mentioned?" "They are above level 10, but they are not saint-level individuals," the half-orc answered. "Then they are pseudo-saint-level individuals." Su Chen heaved a sigh of relief. If they were false saints, he and Wu Yazi would be able to defeat them one by one. Of course, he didn't want to make a move unless it was absolutely necessary. After all, as the strongest person here, the false saint would definitely have a large number of level 10 cultivators as his subordinates. Even if he and Wu Yazi worked together, they wouldn't be able to fend them off. "Tell me more about the 3 supreme experts," Su Chen said in a low voice. The beastman slowly said, "Sky Capital's Li Kuiyang, White Emperor City's Hu Jun, and Returning Sun Valley's Han Haoyang." Su Chen noted them down one by one and then asked, "Which race are they from?" Li Kuiyang is a human, Hu Jun is from the Night Demon clan, and Han Haoyang is from the Law clan, the half-beast answered honestly. "There are humans too?" Su Chen was overjoyed. If they were to make a deal, they would naturally be chosen to be of the same race. Which of these 3 forces is the strongest? Su Chen continued to ask. Sky Capital used to be the strongest, but now they are being suppressed by White Emperor City and Returning Sun Valley. They are in a precarious situation, the half-beast answered after thinking for a while. Hearing this, Su Chen's mind started to work. Sky Capital was in a precarious situation. If they worked together, there was a high chance that they could destroy White Emperor City and Returning Sun Valley. White Emperor City and Returning Sun Valley were both forces of the mutated races. If they killed all of the mutated races, the fragments that would drop would definitely be massive. Thinking of this, Su Chen made a decision. He had to try to work together with Li Kueyang. Chapter 750. Do you know the exact location of Tiandu City? Su Chen asked calmly. Yes. The orc nodded in response. Lead the way to Tiandu City. Su Chen carried the orc into the car. Under the orc's guidance, the intelligent war chariot drove straight in a certain direction. After driving for about half an hour, a small village appeared in front of them. It looked very dilapidated. This isn't Tiandu City, right? Did you purposely lead us here? Su Chen narrowed his eyes as he stared at the orc. His gaze was unusually cold. Master, there are 7 orcs in the village. 4 of them are level 9 cultivators, and 3 are level 10 cultivators. They are rushing towards us, the intelligent war chariot suddenly reminded. Hearing this, Su Chen understood. The orc's motive was obvious. He wanted his companions to save him. 7 cultivators above level 9 were already very powerful. Su Chen did not dare to be careless. He asked Wu Yazi, Senior, can you use your full power here? Wu Yazi was a false sage. If he could use his full power, it would be too easy for him to deal with a few level 10 cultivators. Don't worry, there won't be any problems, Wu Yazi said with a smile. Su Chen was relieved. He carried the orc and Wu Yazi out of the car. The 7 half-beastmen saw their tribesmen being captured and immediately clamored, Human, quickly release our tribesmen, otherwise we'll make you beg for death. Human, there are 3 level 10 cultivators among my people. Let me go quickly. The half-beast clansman in Su Chen's hands sneered and began to threaten him without restraint. In his opinion, although Su Chen was very strong, he was at most level 9. How could he be a match for 3 level 10 cultivators? As for the people in the car, their auras were very weak. None of them were level 9. They could be completely ignored. Su Chen rubbed his nose and threw the orc in his hand to the ground. Then he stomped on the orc's head. With his temper, no one who dared to threaten him would have a good ending. The orcs that were killed were a good example. Bastard! You're courting death. The rest of the beastmen were enraged. They roared and rushed toward Su Chen. Senior, leave one alive. Su Chen muttered, before charging towards the 4 level 9 half-beastmen, leaving the 3 level 10 half-beastmen to Wu Yazi. No problem. Wu Yazi chuckled as the aura on his body soared rapidly. When it reached its peak, he punched out from afar. All of a sudden, a blue torrent flashing with starlight swept forward. The 3 level 10 half-beastmen were intimidated by Wu Yazi's aura and trembled all over. At this moment, they clearly realized that the short old man who had attacked them was a pseudo-saint powerhouse. Although there was only 1 level difference between level 10 and false saint, it was like a natural chasm. The difference was too great. Senior, please spare our lives. Facing the attack of a pseudo-saint, the 3 levels 10 half-beastmen could not resist at all. They begged for mercy loudly. Wu Yazi was unmoved. He controlled the blue torrent to crush them. The first 2 level 10 half-beastmen were directly crushed into powder. Although the remaining half-beastman did not die, he was severely injured and fell to the ground, losing the ability to resist. Master Wu Yazi is so strong. Everyone in the car was inexplicably shocked. In the beginning, they had all thought that Wu Yazi was a level 10 cultivator. But after Wu Yazi's attack this time, they realized that Wu Yazi was not just a level 10 cultivator. Chapter 751. On the other side, after Su Chen used the Atlas shape-shifting technique, he easily killed the 4 level 9 half-orcs. After collecting the fragments, he carried the heavily injured level 10 orc back to the car. Lead the way to Sky City. If you dare to play any tricks, I'll kill you on the spot. Su Chen stared at the level 10 orc and said coldly, "Yes." The level 10 orc was so scared that he trembled. Behind him, the intelligent war chariot continued to drive toward Sky City. Su Chen sat in the driver's seat and started to sort out the fragments. This time, he did not kill many mutated races, but the number of fragments dropped was close to 2,000. Killing high-level mutated races is still the best. Su Chen sighed from the bottom of his heart. Half an hour later, he finished sorting out the fragments and opened the Doomsday Shopping Center to check. When he saw that the level 9 all attributes fragment required 7,000 energy points, he fell into deep thought. Currently, he only had slightly more than 5,000 energy points. He still needed more than 1,000 energy points to exchange for the level 9 all attributes fragment. Considering that it was very dangerous to enter Sky City, he planned to raise his cultivation level to level 9 before entering. This way, he would need more than 1,000 energy points. If it were any other place, he would have to kill at least tens of thousands of zombies or mutated races to get 1,000 energy points. It would be very troublesome. However, it was different in the Fallen Lands. There were many high-level mutated races living here. If he was lucky, he would be able to gather enough energy points after killing 3 to 5 of them. Thinking of this, Su Chen changed his mind about going to Sky City immediately. Instead, he asked the level 10 orc, "Are there any mutated race cultivators nearby?" The level 10 orc thought for a while and replied, "There's a group of titans at Mti Vasidia." "Okay, let's go to Mti Vasidia first." Su Chen was a little excited. The titan giants were very powerful. He had killed 4 of them before, so he had a deep impression of them. Moreover, killing the titan giants would drop a lot of fragments. If he killed a level 10 titan, he estimated that there would be about 1,000 fragments. Under the guidance of the level 10 half-orc, the intelligent war chariot changed its direction and headed straight for Gray Sky Mountain. A day later, the intelligent war chariot arrived at the foot of the Gray Sky Mountain. As expected, they found 5 titans. The strongest one was at level 10, while the other 4 were at level 9. Su Chen and Wu Yazi joined forces and easily exterminated all of them with lightning speed. Su Chen also obtained 2,000 fragments as he wished. After exchanging all of them for energy points, his total energy points exceeded 7,000. He then exchanged them for a level 9 all attributes fragment and became a level 9 full-time practitioner. This time, Su Chen could be considered to have tasted the sweetness. He secretly made up his mind. Whether Li Kuiyang cooperated with him or not, he didn't plan to let any of the outsiders in the abandoned land go. 3 days later, the intelligent war chariot reached a place a few hundred meters away from Tiandu City. Tiandu City sounded like a big city, but what appeared in front of them was just an ordinary town. Su Chen originally thought that the level 10 orc was lying to him. However, after seeing that there was indeed a false divine being, he believed that this town was Tiandu City. Then he mercilessly killed the level 10 orc. Then he let everyone enter the chaos space and put the intelligent war chariot into his storage bag. He then sneaked towards where the false divine being was. Chapter 752. After spending more than half an hour, Su Chen sneaked into a large courtyard. This was where the pseudo-sanctuary was located. However, what surprised Su Chen was that there was not a single guard in the courtyard. He did not know if the other party was fearless or had other preparations. Su Chen stood in the courtyard and glanced around. Just as he was about to walk into a room, a majestic voice rang out. A dignified voice sounded in his ears. "You actually dared to sneak into my residence. You've got guts." Su Chen knew that his whereabouts had been discovered. However, he did not care. His purpose of coming here was to meet Li Kuiyang, and they would meet sooner or later. "Is that Senior Li Kuiyang?" Su Chen looked at the room in front of him and said loudly. The room was silent for a while, and then the voice sounded again. "I'm Li Kuiyang. Come in and talk." "Thank you," Su Chen replied and walked straight into the room. An old man with a bleak figure and a withered face stood in the room. It was Li Kuiyang. When Su Chen entered, Li Kuiyang glanced at Su Chen and said softly, "You entered the abandoned land from outside, right?" Su Chen did not hide anything. Li Kuiyang nodded slightly and then said in a deep voice, "Tell me, what's your purpose here?" "I'm here to make a deal with Senior," Su Chen said directly. "A deal?" Li Kuiyang narrowed his eyes and sized up Su Chen again. He chuckled and said, "Tell me about it." "There are a total of 2 deals. Let's talk about them one by one." Su Chen cleared his throat and said slowly, "The first one is relatively simple. I want to use food to exchange for level 8 energy stones with Senior." Li Kuiyang's eyes lit up when he heard that there was food. In the abandoned land, food was too important. It was even far more important than cultivation resources. This was because if one did not eat, one would starve to death sooner or later. Even if one reached the level of a pseudo-sanctuary, it was inevitable. Without cultivation resources, one's cultivation would at most stop advancing. Therefore, the importance of this matter was self-evident. "How much food can you offer?" Li Kuiyang asked anxiously. "Senior, how many level 8 energy stones do you have?" Su Chen asked. "You get what you pay for." The more level 8 energy stones he had, the more food he would be able to offer. On the other hand, he wouldn't give more. "I only have 3. Li Kuiyang did not hesitate. Su Chen was a little disappointed and sighed. "If there are only 3, I can give you 3 mutant beast corpses." If it was outside, even the 300 mutant beast corpses might not be able to exchange for 3 level 8 energy stones. However, things were different in the abandoned land. Based on his observations over the past few days and the information he obtained from the half-beastmen, he was certain that the corpses of 3 mutated beasts could be exchanged for 3 level 8 energy stones. This could be considered as raising the price on the spot. Of course, he believed that Li Kuiyang would definitely agree. Li Kuiyang pondered for a while. Suddenly, a sharp light shot out of his eyes and went straight for Su Chen. Then, he said in a low voice, "You're probably not level 10 yet, right?" "I just broke through to level 9, Su Chen said very naturally. "Only level 9? And he just broke through?" Li Kuiyang pinched his chin and chuckled. "Since you know my name, you should also know my strength, right?" Su Chen was only level 9, but he dared to come alone to make a deal. Moreover, he had always been fearless. This made Li Kuiyang feel very incredulous. "Senior, you're a pseudo-sanctuary." "I've known this for a long time," Su Chen replied indifferently. Chapter 753. Li Kuiyang found that he could not see through Su Chen anymore. It was too abnormal for a young man who was only at level 9 to be fearless from the beginning to the end when facing a false saint like him. Was he fearless because he was ignorant? Or was he fearless? "Aren't you afraid that I'll kill you and take your things?" Li Kuiyang probed. "I advise you not to do that, because no one below the sage level is my opponent," Su Chen said confidently. When he was at level 8, he could deal with a false saint, but it was almost impossible for him to defeat or kill one. At level 9, it might be a little troublesome to kill a false saint, but it would not be difficult to defeat one. Isn't he too arrogant? Li Kuiyang swallowed hard, and his expression was a little dull. A mere level 9 cultivator dared to claim that he could defeat a false saint. This boast was not ordinary. "Do you think I'll believe it?" Li Kuiyang snorted with a gloomy face. At this moment, he had already regarded Su Chen as a boastful person. Su Chen rubbed his nose and said lightly, "Senior, if you don't believe me, we can find a place to compare notes." He knew that if he wanted Li Kuiyang to believe his words, he had to prove it to him in a battle. "You really want to compare notes with me?" Li Kuiyang's eyes widened, and he almost thought that he had misheard. "If you're afraid, just pretend that I didn't say anything." Su Chen spread out his hands and made an indifferent expression. Li Kuiyang knew that Su Chen was provoking him, and his heart was suddenly ignited with anger. A mere level 9 cultivator dared to provoke him like this. If he did not dare to accept it, he would definitely become a laughingstock. Since you're so confident, I'll satisfy your request, Li Kuiyang responded coldly. He secretly swore that he would teach Su Chen a lesson this time. Senior, this place is not suitable for comparing notes. Do you dare to come to my chaos space? Su Chen opened the chaos space as he spoke. Fighting with a false saint would cause too much of a commotion. If things went wrong, even the Tiandu city might be destroyed. You even have a primal chaos space? Seems like this old man has underestimated you. Li Kuyang smacked his lips and entered the chaos space, without hesitation. It could be said that he was bold because of his skills. He was not afraid of an ambush in the chaos space at all. Seeing that Li Qiren was so decisive, Su Chen did not hesitate. He put the bracelet of chaos space in a safe corner and then entered it. The moment Li Kuyang entered the primal chaos space, he saw a large group of people in front of him. His eyelids twitched. However, at this moment, Wu Yazi took a step forward and arrived before him. He questioned coldly, "Who are you?" Sensing the berserk aura emanating from Wu Yazi, Li Kuyang's expression froze as he cried out involuntarily, "You're a false saint." At this moment he somewhat understood. No wonder Su Chen was so fearless. It turned out that he had a false saint by his side. "Senior Wu Zi, this is Senior Li Kuyang from the Tiandu city. I invited him here." At this moment, Su Chen entered the primal chaos space and explained. Knowing that it was Su Chen who invited him, Wu Yazi breathed a sigh of relief. "Senior Brother Gu, all of you step back a little. I want to compare notes with Senior Li in a while." After explaining, Su Chen turned to Gu Tianhua and the others and said, Su Chen wants to compare notes with a false saint? Gu Tianhua and the others were stunned. Tan Lin and Yang Qian even began to worry. Su Chen was very strong, but no matter how strong he was, he could not be a match for a false saint, right? After all, Su Chen was only at level 8. There was a whole 3 levels difference between him and a false saint. Chapter 754. Wu Yazi didn't quite understand why Su would do this. He had fought with Su Chen before and knew Su Chen's strength very well. With Su Chen's strength, it was very difficult for him to defeat a false saint. He might even suffer a small loss. "Su Chen, are you confident?" Wu Yazi walked to Su Chen's side and asked in a low voice. "It's not a big problem." Su Chen smiled faintly. Wu Yazi was slightly startled. Su Chen's smile showed extreme confidence. It gave him the feeling that he didn't care about a false saint at all. Could it be that his strength has increased again? Wu Yazi muttered in his heart, then walked silently to the side. "Do you really want to spar with me?" After everyone had retreated to the side, Li Kuiyang still didn't quite believe it and tried to probe. "Senior, let's not waste time." Su Chen smiled faintly and directly used the Atlas shape-shifting skill. When its body rose to a height of 30 meters, an unparalleled pressure spread out. Judging from its aura, its cultivation had reached level 10. Level 10. Junior brother Su had actually advanced. Chen Feng and the others were stunned. They clearly remembered that Su Chen had advanced to level 8 not long ago. How did he advance to level 9 in the blink of an eye? Wasn't this speed of advancement too terrifying? "I see." Wu Yazi clicked his tongue and had a look of realization. When Su Chen was at level 8, he could already compete with a false saint. After advancing to level 9, it was indeed very likely that he could defeat a false saint. Chen Gu really advanced? That's too awesome. Yang Hao and the others were stunned for a moment, then became excited. Tan Lin and Yang Qian looked at each other and smiled. After learning that Su Chen had advanced, their original worries had disappeared without a trace. No one knew Su Chen better than they did. All along, Su Chen had always been an existence that surpassed ranks to crush opponents. After using the shape-shifting skill to reach level 10, he was only 1 level away from a false saint. He could completely defeat Li Kuiyang. "This is your trump card? I'm afraid you can't defeat me with this." Li Kuiyang chuckled. Even if Su Chen had advanced to level 10, he didn't take him seriously. After all, there was an insurmountable gap between level 10 and a false saint. The difference was still very obvious. Su Chen did not answer. He moved his feet and suddenly launched an attack at Li Kuang. What fast speed! Li Kuang's eyelids twitched. Although Su Chen was only at level 10, his speed was not inferior to a false saint. Bring it on! This punch was powerful and heavy. Wherever it passed, the void would emit a trembling sound. Seeing this, Su Chen curled his lips slightly and instantly released his mind power. An invisible force swept forward like a stormy sea and instantly shrouded Li Kuang. Spirit Reader! Li Kuang was shocked. Under the restraint of Su Chen's mind power, he found that his movements had become extremely sluggish. To be able to cause such a situation, it meant that Su Chen's mind power had at least reached the level of a false saint. However, what he couldn't figure out was that Su Chen was clearly only at level 10. How could his mind power be so strong? For a moment, he couldn't figure out the situation. He didn't think too much about it. He suddenly exerted force and shattered the invisible force around him. Unexpectedly, just as he broke free, there was a dense whistling sound in his ears. What he saw was 100 golden fist shadows smashing down at him. Secret fist technique. Li Kuang gritted his teeth and pushed forward with one hand. A giant palm suddenly appeared in front of him. Chapter 755. Bang bang bang. In a series of explosions, the golden fist shadows all smashed into the giant palm, and the two were finally destroyed. Ah, what else do you have? Li Kuang laughed. He thought that after destroying Su Chen's spirit power and secret fist techniques, Su Chen wouldn't have any other tricks up his sleeve. But soon, reality gave him a hard slap in the face. He saw a blue torrent with flashes of lightning rushing towards him. When he felt the terrifying killing intent of the blue torrent, the smile on his face froze. He's also a psychic master. Li Kuang swallowed hard, and his expression was a little sluggish. Su Chen had used the attacks of a psychic master and an evolver consecutively, and now he was using spells. This meant that Su Chen was a full-time cultivator, and each of his professions had reached level 9. There's such a monster in the world? Li Kuang clicked his tongue, and when the blue torrent came close, a yellow battle sword suddenly appeared in his hand, and he slashed with the sword. There was a thunderous explosion. The blue torrent was shattered by the sword, but the yellow battle sword was also blown into pieces. Li Kuang took a few steps back under the impact of the thunder explosion and looked a little embarrassed. When he just stabilized his body, a shrill whistling sound suddenly sounded in the air. It was a gray wind blade that was a few feet long sweeping towards him. Wind element spell? Li Kuang was a little confused. Su Chen turned out to be a dual elemental mage, which was out of his expectations. Moreover, this wind blade was far beyond level 10, which made him feel very dangerous. Facing the wind blade flying towards him, Li Kuang didn't choose to retreat, and he spat out a mouthful of blood onto his right hand. The next moment he saw a bloody glow on his right hand. Li Kuang clenched his fist and punched out. There was a bang. The wind blade was shattered by the punch. The bloody glow on Li Kuang's fist also weakened a little. He was just about to take a breath, but he suddenly felt the temperature around him rise sharply. Soon, a fireball the size of a face flew towards him. Feeling the scorching heat of the fireball, Li Kuang almost cursed out loud. Su Chen had actually used a third spell. Was there any justice in this world? Seeing this, Gu Tianhua, who was not far away, sighed with emotion. Junior brother Su is starting to crush his opponents again. He clearly remembered that a few days ago at the Sun Moon Star Palace, Su Chen had used this method to crush Nen Lichuan. Who would have thought that after advancing to level 1, he would still be able to crush a false saint? It was truly amazing. So strong. Wu Yazi couldn't help but click his tongue. Su Chen, who had advanced to level 9, was so powerful that even he felt a little apprehensive. He could imagine that if he were to fight with Su Chen now, it was very likely that he would lose miserably. There was even a great possibility that he would be killed. Boom. But at this moment, a violent explosion sounded on the field. Li Kuiyang's fist shattered the fireball that was flying towards him, but he was also forced to take a few steps back from the explosion, and his clothes were charred black. How tenacious! The corner of Su Chen's mouth twitched slightly. He took out the enchanted sword from the storage bag, opened the pet-raising space, and summoned the bone-cold ghost fire. Little Gu, attach yourself to my ice spell later and kill him. Su Chen ordered. Yes, master. The bone-chill nether fire replied. Chapter 756. Su Chen quickly infused the enchanted divine saber with ice-type spells and then swept it out. A white torrent rushed out from it, and the bone-chilling nether fire jumped on it and merged with it. Instantly, an extremely terrifying chill swept out in all directions. Even though Chen Feng and the others were far away, they still felt a bone-chilling cold and couldn't help but retreat. What a terrifying ice-type spell! Wu Yazi was shocked. On the other side, Li Kuiyang's face changed completely. The ice-type spell released by Su Chen brought unprecedented pressure to him. He knew that if he couldn't block it, he would definitely be defeated and might even be killed. Thinking of this, Li Kuiyang opened his mouth and spat out a blue bead. It spun and floated above his head. Then, a bright blue light burst out from it and slowly flowed down like a waterfall, wrapping Li Kuiyang in it. Li Kuiyang used a divine weapon. Wu Yazi exclaimed. With his eyesight and knowledge, he recognized the blue bead floating above Li Kuiyang's head at a glance. It was a defensive divine weapon. Li Kuiyang was a false saint, but he was forced to use a divine weapon by Su Chen. It could be seen how powerful Su Chen was now. Sizzle, but at this moment, the white torrent hit the blue barrier around Li Kuiyang. A terrifying chill raged and sealed the blue barrier in ice in the blink of an eye. Li Kuiyang's face changed slightly. However, after seeing that the blue barrier was not damaged, he heaved a sigh of relief. You have some ability. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. Since Li Kuiyang used a divine weapon, he wouldn't be polite. Suddenly, a colorful hill appeared above Li Kuiyang's head. Under Su Chen's control, it smashed down heavily. There was a loud boom. The blue barrier around Li Kuiyang shattered like paper in the face of the 10,000-kilogram weight of the primary 5 extremes mountain. Seeing this, Li Kuiyang was inexplicably shocked and his heart was in his throat. If the hill in front of him fell, he would definitely not be able to block it. Even if he didn't die, he would end up seriously injured. Fortunately, Su Chen didn't want to kill him. After destroying the blue barrier, he withdrew the primary 5 extremes mountain. However, after this attack, the outcome was clear. Su Chen crushed all the way and won the final victory with an absolute advantage. I've lost. Li Kuiyang stared blankly at Su Chen, then sighed dejectedly. As a false saint, he had been defeated by a level 9 cultivator. Moreover, he had been defeated without being able to fight back. His heart was very complicated. Junior brother Su Chen is now? Chen Feng and the others looked at each other and felt that it was inconceivable. Su Chen could crush a false saint when he was only at level 9. Once he advanced to level 10, wouldn't he not even take a sage-level existence seriously? Su Chen kept the bone-chill nether fire in the pet-raising space. Then, he looked at Li Kuiyang and smiled faintly. Senior, since you've acknowledged my strength, let's talk about the second deal. Li Kuiyang forced himself to be alert and sighed. What deal? Su Chen said in a deep voice, I want to join forces with you to uproot and kill all the foreign tribesmen in the abandoned land. You're tuning in to the Wandering Hero YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.